right, I think we're up. I think we're ready to go. If not, this is awkward, but hopefully we're good. So hi, welcome. If there's anyone in the chat channel that isn't already us or our friends, or is watching us in YouTube or something like that, but we are going to be playing some Shinobigami tonight, which is a modern ninja battle RPG. It is a weird little game we've been playing a little bit recently. We are Adventures in Lollygagging. We do a podcast. You can catch us every Monday. We use Zweihander for that actual play, but we've been starting to do some more Twitch stuff. This is a one shot. All these people are going to be playing it. A couple of them have played it before, Melissa and Long. Everybody else is new. We've been trying to get as many new people Twitching and playing with us as possible. If you want to catch any of our other stuff, we've got a website, thelollygaggers.com, and you can just, anywhere you get podcasts, just look for the Adventures in Lollygagging, and you can get some of our long form campaign play with the Zweihander RPG. So we're gonna jump right in. I'm Jeff, Gamemaster. Each one of these people are gonna go around. They're gonna say their character name and what ninja clan they're in. The basic premise of Shinobigami is that we are in modern day Japan. Everybody is a member of a ninja clan that are kind of competing, frenemies like. There's the Shinobigami or ninja gods. They might be uprising, they might be coming back, and if they do, bad things are gonna happen. So let's start with Melissa and we'll work our way around.
So I am Melissa. I am playing Tricia Tatsuya. She is a member of the Hirasaka Agency. The goal of the Hirasaka Agency clan is to protect Japan and kind of keep secret all of these Shinobigami.
Okay, Long.
Yeah, I'm Long. I'm playing Kenji, and I'm in the Kurama Shin Clan, and they're pretty much focused on powerful martial arts, and they want to keep the ninjas and stuff hidden in society.
All right, Josh.
Yeah, I'm Josh. I'm playing as Taizo from the Kasuba Ninja Army, and they're all about like collecting ogis and stuff.
So ogi are like these really super powerful abilities that ninja can do. Each one of the characters tonight actually has an ogi that hopefully they'll display at some point, and they're incredibly powerful, which is why the army wants to collect them and then use their technology to kind of reproduce them so that everyone can use these powerful
make
skills.
them into tools and stuff.
Exactly.
About technology.
Yeah. Derek.
Yep, that's me. I'm Derek. I'm playing Daichi, and I am in the Bloodline of Oni.
Okay. Bloodline of Oni are like, they are kind of the bad people, sort of, in a way. Like, they're the ones that tried to do this ritual to summon, like, Shinobigami at some point, but it was broken up by all the other clans. They also use sorcery and magic a lot, and they're creepy. In some of our other games, Ashley, one of our players, she plays a very creepy, like, vampiric, like, shadow freak, something like that. Yeah.
Vortex of blood.
Exactly. And then Logan.
Hi, my name is Logan. I'm playing Yubari Gogo. She's a 18-year-old high school senior. She's a member of the Otogi Private Academy, who's kind of their aim is to discover the secrets of others. So lots of espionage and finding out secrets and stuff.
Yeah, they like recruit all the really promising, powerful young ninja and then like shepherd them through their free public education system. Yeah, that's pretty great. Okay, so the Shinobigami is played through scenes and cycles. So cycles, basically think of them as like really big rounds, and during each cycle, and there'll probably be 3 tonight unless things get really crazy. We might shrink it, we might increase it if necessary, but probably 3. During each cycle, every one of these characters gets to be like the star of a scene, and when it's their turn to go, they can choose either a drama scene or a battle scene. A drama scene is just a little bit of role play or a little bit of description where they're going to try to learn some information. Maybe information about some of their fellow players, maybe information about other characters, NPCs in the game, something like that. Battle scenes are when they actually fight and duel and all those kinds of things. But there are limitations to when and how you can perform that battle scene. Periodically, I'll be interjecting some Gamemaster scenes that might be there just to sort of increase tension or just to kind of reset the story or to reveal some information, stuff like that. We're going to start the game. I'm going to give you a little background. They know the mission already. Each one of them has not just a regular mission, but their own little secret private mission that everyone else isn't supposed to know. It's a relatively cooperative scenario with some slight undermining and underhanded play. So here is the background. The Kurama Shin Clan, of which Kenji is a part, but wasn't actually part of this particular mission. But the Kurama Shin Clan was transporting a magic-blooded individual known as Uno Makira. Now, a magic-blooded individual is somebody who was sort of born from some dark sorcery, some sort of ritual, to the point where they have like infused within them some kind of magic, almost like they're monsters in themselves, and so they might even appear monstrous in some way. So the Kurama Shin Clan had found a magic blooded, which is normally kind of hunted down to some degree. Sometimes they appear in the Oni clan, sometimes they don't. By a woman by the name of Uno Makira to a secret holding facility somewhere in Japan. I would tell you where, but it's secret. Formerly, this woman was a part of the bloodline of the Oni, which is Derek's. What's your name? What's your character's name again?
Daichi.
Daichi. There we go. I got it. So formerly part of his characters. But however, Uno Makira was outcast after she was performing a ritual against the wishes of her clan. So even the bloodline of the Oni, which tends to be the outsiders to begin with, they kicked her out. They got rid of her. Now, for the transport, the Kurama Shin Clan was using a secure train line that's under their control. They have a security agency, a security group, and they had this very secure train line. They were passing through a well-traveled and monitored depot. The train car was seen both with people's eyes, but also on surveillance, entering an underground tunnel with several ninja guards and the magic-blooded Uno Makira on board. However, when it emerged from this tunnel, it was several minutes behind schedule, which is very peculiar. It showed signs of a struggle on the inside because there was all sorts of blood and broken glass, and there was only one passenger left on board. The passenger is a Chunin ninja from the Kurama Shin Clan, Chunin being their rank equal to yours. And they remain largely unresponsive to questioning, only babbling two words: Yumakui and abomination. Now, according to historians and theologians from your respective clans, Yumakui, also known as the Dream Blades, is an intensely powerful pair of large swords. They are an artifact, and in the game terms, they are what's called a prize. Now, the concern is that Uno Makira was not in the actual train car, and so she's now once again on the loose. And the worry is that if this magic-blooded abomination individual named Uno Makira is in possession of the Dream Blades, there is no limit to what evils she could conjure. She has apparently taken shelter somewhere in the maze of tunnels below the depot. Other train cars have now been attacked. More people have been taken, both ninja and civilians. And not only must the abomination be stopped, but the clans are now racing for control of the Yumakui. So that's the background. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do introduction phase. So what introduction phase basically means is every character very quickly is going to do a very simple, like 1 to 2 minute description of what they're doing in their everyday life right now. And I will kind of describe how they go about getting called into this particular mission. So we're going to start with the people who've played this before. So Melissa, you're going to go first. So what is Tricia doing on this fine day?
So Tricia is a 54-year-old reporter, recently promoted to news anchor. So most mornings she starts her day off in a coffee shop, looking at her phone, seeing if she needs to head into the station or if she's going to be kind of sent out to do some, kind of interviews during her day.
So what are two distinct things? Like if we're looking at her at this point, what does she look like? What is the first two things somebody notices about her?
She's always dressed professionally. And she always has some sort of flower, in her attire. Either her blouse has a flower or she's got a flower pin or, something like that. There's always a flower somewhere.
Okay. So as you're kind of preparing whatever news story, maybe typing up some script on your laptop, your BlackBerry begins to vibrate a bit on the table, as it commonly does. And when you look at it, you notice a number that only ever shows up when something bad has happened. And when you answer the phone, it is kind of a muffled voice, something like it's going through some kind of filter, as if they're concerned about revealing their identity. And they say to you that there has been an incident, one that threatens to ignite the city in panic and fear. And while the reporter in you certainly sees like a benefit of allowing the panic to go and think of all the wonderful stories you can have, when they mention the fact that there was this magic-blooded abomination and this incredibly powerful artifact, the ninja in you recognizes immediately the dangers, and you are tasked with being relatively close to this particular train depot, with heading there, ensuring that the panic does not get to the point where we start seeing this on the news, and making sure that you recover both the missing magic-blooded woman and the actual swords themselves. Okay, Long, you're gonna go next. What is Kenji doing on this day?
Kenji's in a small room with the various containers of liquids. He's researching insect venoms and poisons and just testing them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you're kind of getting lost in your bug studying, you hear a soft knock, but one that is kind of cuts through all of the other ambient noise in the room, the buzzing of various bugs or the kind of hum of a light. But you hear this little soft knock, and when you open up the door, you recognize a familiar clan elder, dressed in very basic attire, nothing special, kind of a straw hat on. And she motions you to follow. And she leads you into this field, this kind of wheat field, where all these different plants are kind of growing. It's nearing harvest season. And she takes you into the direction of this one row of plants. And when you get really close, you notice where all of the other stalks themselves looked healthy, this one looks somehow mutated in a way, as if something has been eating away at it, a virus, some sort of bacteria. And she says and explains to you that when the world is at its most natural and basic state, and when things are right and where they need to be, she like spreads her arm in the direction of the healthy wheat, and she says, this is what we can produce. But when some sort of abomination, some sort of aberration is thrown into the mix, and she rips like the gross wheat out of the ground and shows it to you, this is what can become of it. Right now in the city, there is the danger of one of these types of infections growing within one of the cities and near an underground. And it's your job as somebody who is capable of studying these types of situations to go and ensure that this bacteria, this virus, doesn't spread any further and then contaminate the rest of the city. All right, next up is Josh. So what is Taizo doing on this fine, fair day?
All right, so Taizo, he's 33 years old. He's an architect as his cover, so he is probably on the site, like an excavation, like a building about to be excavated and torn down, and he's probably looking through blueprints and such, getting measurements of the new building that's going to replace it.
What is something if we were looking at him, like what's like the first thing we notice about Taizo?
Long everything. He's got long hair, long sleeves, big long coat. He's got glasses. Can't quite see his eyes. There's always a little reflection going on.
Is he one of those like car salesman inflatable things where his arms are just
yeah.
Okay.
Just blowing in the wind.
All right. So as Taizo is like going over these plans, looking at these different schematics, kind of pushing one aside and bringing another sheet out suddenly he sees an unfurled sheet that he didn't was kind of surprised to actually see as part like this. Wait a second, this isn't the building, this isn't the site. And as you look closer, you realize it is kind of an exploded view of a series of underground tunnels and subways. And you look at it a little bit more closely, and you understand how to read the plan. It's not architecture necessarily, but it's civil and structural engineering, and you're smart enough in those ways. And as you're looking at it and poring over it, you don't even notice that there is, standing behind you, a short, stocky woman, well-dressed. She's got these very thick glasses on that are kind of shaded so you can't quite see the color of her eyes. And she says, I assume you have been paying attention to the clan's channels. You know the situation is growing even more dire as we have an abomination running around within our city, within this complex network of tunnels. You are the one most suited to navigate the maze, because it is very circuitous and maze-like. And so, with your knowledge of civil and structural engineering, city planning, from what we've learned, there might be not just subway tunnels, but even older catacombs of some kind built beneath. Your knowledge of the city and your knowledge of engineering will come in handy. And so they direct you on the mission. All right, then we go to Derek.
Okay, so I think that Daichi would be giving a grandiose sermon to his flock right now.
Right.
Something about Daichi is it's all about image of Daichi. You just think about like just the most decked out wardrobe ever. Just very grandiose, very put together, very clean. Just the pinnacle of charisma. Always looks like super happy and super interested. So yeah, he's just speaking the words to his people about the glories of the moon goddess.
And as you kind of finish your sermon, and as people start to file out of your small temple, you turn and you kind of look at the different images and insignias like on the walls themselves of this moon goddess, who's looking down at you, and suddenly the eyes shift and look at you. The head just sort of slightly detaches from its still painting and begins to move, and you can see the mouth begin to form. And this is probably not too alarming because they've communicated with you, your clan elders, in ways that most would find unsettling, but Bloodline of the Oni don't necessarily get shaken too easily. And they communicate and they say, Sister Makira has proven yet again to be a thorn in our side. We have plans, and her reckless disregard for those within the clan has pushed us too far. You are the one closest to where she has now gone missing. You must travel there. You must find her before the others do. You must ensure that she does not endanger our plans. And there's like kind of a subtle nod as if there's more to what she means by plans, things that you probably know, and it's not something that's sort of spoken aloud. And then you see her just sort of like fold back, the head shift back into its original position, the eyes look back in the direction that they're supposed to look, and everything is right once more. What's something we notice about him, by the way? What's like the first visual, physical thing?
Yeah, it's definitely his like attire. It's very clean, very put together, like very lavish and luxurious. Like it's the part of the like almighty like Perfect. Speaker looking the part for his goddess.
All right, and then finally we've got Gogo. Let's go. What we got?
Gogo is a student, high school senior. She's, depending on the time of day, you'll either find her in class or an after-school program. She's very involved in multiple different extracurriculars to the point where she's rarely home, which kind of aids to her cover as a ninja, because she can always kind of slip out, say she has, some sort of practice or appointment to make. Probably the first thing you notice about her is her looks. She is very, very charming. Nothing over the top. She doesn't spend too much time on her outfit or her hair, but she just has a very, very alluring appeal to her just as a baseline, but also all menacing in the same way. So she gives you a glance in a way, and you'd know definitely not to approach her or to come at her in any certain way, or else you may end up hurt. So what time of day would you say it is right now? Morning, afternoon, evening?
You tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's currently, let's say, waiting for her transport to one of her sport activities. She plays tennis, so she's waiting on public transportation to go to one of her tennis appointments.
So as you're sitting on this bench, you hear a slam suddenly on the same bench. You look to your left, and this big tome has been dropped down and flips open, and you see this image of these two crossing thick, heavy blades, and then a shadow begins to cast over top of them, and you look up behind you, and you realize it's one of your history professors, and they begin to give you some background on Yumakui, the Dream Blades, and the dangers and the power that they hold, and just what that could mean for the balance within the War of Shadows. Begins to fill you in on this not just the blades themselves, but that he or she who possess them and wield them can go a long way in determining whether they are done for good or for ill, and directs you, since it is about time for you to prove yourself, that this is your first of what hopefully will be many missions to help prove your worth to the Otogi Private Academy. And they give you a train pass, and they say Ililu multipass, and then direct you towards where you need to go. All right. So everyone's looked at your secret missions by now. If you have any questions, remember, whisper them to me in the Discord or something like that. So remember that your location, your secret, and your ninja gear, and your Ogi, they're all private. Remember that secrets and locations can be learned mechanically through making skill checks during drama scenes when you're the scene player. Also, if you win a battle, you have the ability to learn some things as well. And yeah, we're going to go this sort of one by one. But before we start, I'm going to give you a little bit of a little GM to set the scene. It is nighttime, probably within a day or two of when you were contacted and directed to prepare for your missions from your various elders and contacts. Imagine the camera sort of drifting through a relatively empty train depot, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. You hear like a whistling and a laughter as someone is chuckling somewhere. The camera is continuing to just sort of pan, and you see empty benches, a newspaper rumpled up on the ground here or there. You can hear like the distant echo of a train far down a tunnel. You can see there's, and in the distance, there's this lighted security booth behind which somebody is just flipping through a book and not really paying too much attention. But that's not where the laughter is coming from. The camera continues to pan, and eventually you see it settle on a door that provides an image suggesting this is a bathroom, a public bathroom. As we go inside, the laughter gets louder and louder, but we don't actually see anything. The light flickers overhead, these fairly cheap halogen lights. There are a couple sinks that haven't been washed recently. Maybe the cleaning crew will come tomorrow. There's a couple partially cracked mirrors, but still useful. A couple urinals, and there's a handful of closed stalls. A few of the doors are kind of flopping back and forth a little bit, suggesting they're not occupied, but one appears to be locked, and it's from this stall that the laughing is from. And when we go inside, we see a man dressed in a light blue uniform, like a security personnel. Hat is taken off and set atop like the toilet paper rack. Their pants are kind of wrapped around their ankles as they're doing their business. and they're kind of leaning forward with their phone out, watching some sort of hilarious YouTube video, and just reeling back with laughter, ha ha ha, you know, going. It's just face is beet red, tears are coming out of the side, with how hilarious it is. But then the light begins to flicker overhead even more, which starts to annoy him a little bit. Just the irritation of it. Then the light goes off entirely, and the only light now is the ambient glow of his phone. But as he continues to watch the phone now begins to flicker, and then the buffering symbol begins to show up, as if the wireless signal is starting to struggle. And you can hear him cuss a little bit, the laughter, and he's kind of trying to sort of reload the actual video itself, kind of twist and turn his phone, see if that helps at all. And the sound of the video is gone. His sound of his laughter is gone. The sound of the lights kind of slowly shutting off is now quiet. And for a moment, it's intensely quiet until a second later, a sound begins to form. Like metal dragging and scratching across concrete. And it's just this long, slow grind of metal. And then very, very subtly behind it, there is another sound, something more liquidy. And you can see that the face of the man sitting in the stall gets a little confused, and he shouts out, and he says, he's just like, "Hey, can you turn the lights on?" You know, and there's no response. And then there's the dragging of the metal and the... And then there's some banging on the door, and he gets really upset. Like, "There's other stalls. Go in other stalls." And then finally, he pulls his pants up, kind of gets his little security nightstick ready to go, goes to bust open the actual stall door. And as he does, in the darkness, a couple slices happen, and you just see as his body suddenly bifurcates. The top half, just above his stomach, begins to fall with this really confused look on his face as his mouth begins to sink. And then the legs just stand ever so briefly, just there, kind of swaying for a moment, until they slap to the ground. And seconds later, you see a blade of some kind, with just the slight reflection of the cell phone glow, giving you just enough light to see it stab down on one piece of the body, the other one come down and stab down on the other, and it begins to drag the bodies out of the stall and into the shadows of the rest of the bathroom. And that's where we're going to begin cycle 1 of Panic. Of Panic at the Depot. So I'm going to let you guys can kind of choose your order, but I'm going to suggest either Melissa or Long. Why don't you two go first? You know how this works. So if either one of you wants to go ahead with your turn, either one of you want to volunteer?
I can go ahead.
Okay. All right. What is Tricia doing?
So Tricia is down there where she's supposed to be, and she is trying to gather as much information as she can do.
Nighttime, daytime, morning? What are we thinking?
Morning.
Okay.
So let's assume that she's going to be able to find Taizo. Josh, if you're okay with being in the scene.
Yeah.
Okay. And Tricia would like to use her investigation to kind of be asking some questions about, what's been going on. What are the rumors? What are people saying?
So if you're moving around in the morning, there's definitely plenty of people at the train depot right now. There's a lot of people who aren't paying attention. They got their faces buried in their phones or buried in books, commuters getting ready to go to work. It's like you're just bumping into elbows with people. This is a very busy area. Would you say that Tricia knows Taizo as a ninja, or this is just a chance encounter with somebody there who she's just happening to converse with?
This is a little bit of an educated guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're going around and you're asking questions of random people first, you're getting answers like, why is that bathroom closed? And there's like these yellow do not cross lines, and you can see on the door it's like kind of bloody and here and there, and there's whispers of like people like making all these kind of like did someone get hurt, or it doesn't necessarily seem as though everybody knows exactly what happened, as if somebody's trying to cover it up. But then you find Taizo. So you can go ahead and roll your check first, and then based upon whether you succeed or fail, you can kind of role play it out.
Yeah, I would say that Taizo just has a little bit of a different look to him. Like he doesn't seem quite as confused or kind of out of the loop.
Okay.
So that's kind of the basis of her assumption.
Okay.
So investigation.
Yep.
That's a pass.
So that's a pass. So what is there something specific you're asking, Taizo?
I am because I have this suspicion, I am angling towards figuring out what his secret is.
Okay. All right. So the two of you kind of talk for a little bit. You don't have to play all of it out, but you kind of talk for a little bit, and your normal reporter techniques begin to come into play. You ask some basic questions here and there. Does Taizo, I mean, how knowledgeable do you think Taizo is, Josh? Do you think Taizo has been like getting the lay of the land themselves, or is it just like they just got here and they're a little bit ignorant?
Yeah, he probably knows what's been going on in there. He probably saw the body.
Okay.
I would imagine.
You'd have definitely seen, if let's say you probably got there early and you saw a lot of blood streaks, but no body. No body.
I'm
but
trying to look for
streaks.
The perpetrator.
Okay.
Like who did it.
All
Who
right.
done it. So I'll say to Tricia, like you seem like you know what's going on around here. I'm not so much as here for the tools that did this injury, but more of the being holding the blades.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with that.
So go ahead.
And I give her my actual secret?
Yeah, so go ahead and messenger that privately. So because she succeeded. So since she succeeded, she gets your secret.
Okay.
Make sure that no one else sees it, though. Just her.
Does he do any kind of roll?
No. No defense.
Okay.
No. Okay. You were successful. All right. We're going to transition over to Kenji then. So what's Kenji doing? First day of the investigation.
First day of the investigation. It's past the incident, so it's nighttime. Just a hole in the wall ramen shop. Just ordering a bowl of ramen.
Okay.
Saying thanks to the shopkeep. And in walks Gogo, getting a bowl herself.
Okay.
And I want to try to like maybe form an alliance, team up, try to take down this abomination. Like I'm in a hurry to get yeah.
So you can
like that.
You could try to roll a check first and then role play based upon whether you succeed or fail. Since you're rolling it, you're probably going to fail, but like
right.
So you want to do that?
Yeah.
So what of the social skills are you going to try to seduce Gogo? Are you going to try to bluff? What exactly are you thinking of doing here? Lots of different options.
Lots of options indeed.
Or you could just role play it and I can tell you which skill that sounds like. That's the other option.
Okay. I'm gonna say how taking this, I can let her have like the fame and name in her clan of taking this thing down, sort of like a bluff sort of thing.
Okay. So you're trying to butter her up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll your bluff check.
Come on.
You're not going to pass. You know you're not. Classic.
This never changes.
So let's let this play out a little bit. Do you have any rerolls? Do you have any reroll items?
I'm gonna soma pill.
So right off the bat, use that shit now. All right.
He really wants me, huh? It's my charm.
There he goes. You got it. All right. So while you role play a little of this out, what does this conversation sound like? How does this go back and forth?
As she's coming in, I already ordered a bowl of it. Like, this one's for you. I knew you coming.
So I'm initially kind of taken aback by this man's just straight out approach to me, but it's something I'm kind of used to, is just being approached by random strangers and being given things.
Sure.
But there's something about him that kind of separates him from the rest of them.
Mhm.
So although Kenji's appearance at first may have been off-putting, he kind of like, I'm hungry, I've been traveling all day, so might as well just, eat and hear what he has to say.
Okay. So were you doing emo bond then? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Emo bomb.
All right. You succeeded. So both of you go ahead and enroll your emo bond. So Logan, that's on this character sheet, upper left of the skill sheet.
I got it. So friendship.
So you guys you can pick whatever you want. Like a drama scene, you both get to choose your own. You don't really dictate anyone else's.
So I
I'll
can
pick empathy here.
I'm guessing it's not going to be a negative one.
No, it can be. Like you can be suspicious of. You can certainly be suspicious. So, or you can be angry at the way, at how he presumed that. Oh, I'm not just in this for glory, maybe or something like that.
Can these be changed at some point? Or are these like
So you can. There's a couple different ways they can change. Like if you try to do another emo bond, like the new one can replace the old, and then there's also some ninpo that people can manipulate them as well. All right, so you got that locked in then? You guys both got your...
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Don't forget, on the list at the bottom of the character sheet, put a person's name. If you've got an emo bond, write down what it is. If you find a location, etc., you can track all that kind of stuff there. All right. So as the two of you finish your ramen, eventually maybe you leave together, agreeing at this point to maybe investigate the train depot at night with not as many people around together. Might be better. Two sets of eyes might be better than one. So then who else would like to go next? So you guys, if you want to pick an order, or I can just pick somebody, it's up to you. So Derek or Josh or Logan, you guys get your scene.
I'll take a stab at doing a scene if that's okay.
Let's do it, man. This is
all right.
Daichi.
Daichi, yeah. So I would think that after hearing the order speak to me, that I would head to the scene of the incident as quickly as possible, since I understand kind of the background and the implications of what can be.
Okay. Nighttime, morning, daytime. What are we thinking?
I think this would probably be like morning. Like I would try to get there as quickly as possible, like as quickly as it was known by the public, since I don't have any like particularly strong like investigative skills on that.
Sure.
Like you would have to wait until it's public knowledge.
Right.
But once arriving, I'd like to bump into Kenji at the station if he's okay with being at the scene.
Long, you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right.
Cool. So looking at the mess of the scene, seeing the door kind of barricaded and seeing the blood, I'm immediately trying to figure out like, okay, what's like, I understand who this person is and how dangerous they can be. Like what would be their next move? And I just happened to catch Kenji also taking a glance that's just a little bit longer. And, kind of like there's that gaze of like, this person's not just confused why there's blood here. They're like trying to figure it out as well. And so I walk up to Kenji and I'm like, you seem to be pretty intrigued by this as well, and not just because it's interrupting your bathroom routines. I could make you a very wealthy person if you know any information that can help me find the source of this. And with that, I guess then I would do a skill check with one of my skills.
Yeah, so you can kind of decide what you want to do, so long as it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and use the finance skill. And just be like, I can make it very worth your while if you are able to give me any information that helps me find this person.
Yeah, makes sense. Go for it. All right. That is a fail.
That's a crisp $5 bill I can offer you.
It's like Monopoly money.
Yeah.
Do you have a reroll or anything?
I do, but I think I'm going to hang on to it for now. So I'll just basically be like, I can make you very wealthy, but then kind of be cheap.
Okay. Seeing this, like absolute, his uniform, I think he said, is like really well dressed. He walks up to me, so I first suspicious already of him. And then he goes on offering me wealth about giving him information. I'm just like, that doesn't interest me at all. There's it's much more deeper situation here than just what money can provide.
All right, so as you do that and then kind of turn him away, and you see Daichi kind of go about his own business at that point, you see another individual, both of you can probably see this, approach the scene, dressed just like the individual you saw in the very beginning, kind of this light powder blue uniform. It's another security official. Pulls aside Kenji a moment and says, "I am pleased that you would make such a noble decision, brother." And he kind of gives you the secret handshake of the Kurama Shin Clan, whatever that is, like, I don't know, something. And he says, if there's anything you need, and you can clearly overhear this, no problem. He introduces himself as Izumu Aiji, and he is frequently one of the security guards here. This has been his like as assignment as a Gerin Gashira, like a kind of a lower level ninja than you are, but he's a member of the Kurama Shin Clan. So all of you would know about that NPC. So you've now got 2 NPCs you know of: Unu, Makira, and Azuma Aiji. Remember that drama scenes, you don't just have to target players, you can target NPCs. Either one's fine, doesn't matter. Some NPCs have secrets and locations and stuff like that as well, and you can form emo bonds with them. So you can go ahead and add those to your player lists at the bottom.
And which clan was Zuma with again?
The Kurama Shin Clan.
Kurama, okay.
Yeah. So the Kurama Shin Clan have a tendency to have, like, they have jobs like security, security guard, stuff like that. So it's not unsurprising, and considering that this is the same clan that was escorting the abomination, the magic blooded initially, makes sense that there would be more here. All right, so unfortunately you failed, so you don't get to gain anything from that scene. So Josh or Logan, either of you want to do something?
I can go next.
Okay.
So this is taking kind of place between when we arrive at the station, where the whole ordeal took place, and from the ramen shop.
Right.
So me and Kenji were traveling towards the location, and that's when we kind of spark up a conversation about, his whole purpose of, coming up to me and trying to get me to come fight this whole, I guess, evil that he was telling me about. Mm-hmm. So I want to seduce him to try and maximize the information I could get out of him and maybe learn his secret.
Okay, so before you roll,
okay.
You two already have an emo bond, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're okay with being in this scene, Kenji?
Yeah, that's fine.
Lon's like, hell yeah, I've always wanted to role play seduction with Logan. Are you kidding? All right, so because you two have an emo bond and you're in a drama scene together, you have the ability, if you want, Kenji, to use an emo mod. What that means is that you can give, because you're in the same scene and because you already have an emo bond, you can actually give Logan a +1, or give Gogo
plus bonus,
a +1 if you want, so that she can, on her roll, get an extra. So it's up to you. You don't have to, but you can.
That's so. Is that one per cycle sort of thing, or how's it working?
It's once per. I think it's. Let's see. When in the same scene as a character attempting a resolution, a character with an emo bond towards that character may use it to modify the roll. So once per cycle, and we're closing in on the end of the cycle.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's use it. Let's emo bond, so you get a +1.
Okay. So why don't you roll it, and then based upon how you do, let's role play it a little bit. Okay. So that's a 9 out of 5 with the bonus. That's a success. So how do you go about seducing him? What are the kind of the things that you say to him? Let's really dive in. Let's see what that's like.
So Kenji, I just find it weird how an older individual would kind of spark conversation with a young girl such as myself. Typically I have older men approach me and offer me, money, fame, cars, even give me fancy tickets to their sporting events, but usually not cheap ramen. That's kind of what caught me off guard for you. So I would want to know what a man such as yourself wants to give me ramen for.
You know what mom always says? If you want your way to a girl's heart, just offer her some food.
How old is
I'm,
Kenji
I'm
again?
only and by older man, I am about your age. I am 19.
Oh, okay.
He's like a college student, and you're like a high school student. It's not
Yeah, I
that
don't.
bad. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't ever get his
Yeah,
age. I just
so-
assumed he was older.
All right. So you said you wanted a secret.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and whisper Logan your secret since he was successful.
Okay.
And then the last but not least.
How do you whisper again? Are we using Discord?
I'm just gonna
for that?
Discord.
You can
dude.
use Discord. It's fine. You can do it in Roll20 but Discord's fine. Okay. So and make sure you track that stuff on the player sheet at the bottom of the character. All right, Josh. Last up. What you thinking for Taizo?
For scenes, can you like go back a little bit?
Absolutely. Time is abstract.
okay.
It's totally abstract. You can set it whenever you want. It's totally fine.
Gotcha.
And you can always target a person. You're able to target people even if they're not in your scene. So you can say like let's say Logan and Long Lee were doing a scene together, just like they just did, but they wanted to target you instead. They could still role play it, and like you could still be the target of trying to decipher the secret and stuff like that. So the person doesn't have to be within the scene to target them.
Okay. I wanted to do a scene with Daichi,
Okay.
like the day before, like at his little church establishment,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Temple.
I like it. I like
Tent.
it. All right. Is there a lot of people around, or is it just the two of you?
I'm guessing it'd be like after one of his sermons or something.
People are starting to file
Taizo
out. Yeah.
he's kind of heard of him, a little infamous maybe. He's got like a way with his words. It's a little supernatural. I might know that he's part of whatever clan he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
You are Bloodline the owner. Yeah, you are more than welcome to just say you know that. That's not
Okay.
something- Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
All right, so I'll come up to him, be like, Mr. Daichi, word's coming around that you're gonna be heading out tomorrow on a little excursion, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to share info in the next day or so on this little adventure, we can call it. And I'll bribe him with a generous donation. I'm a very successful man. I'd be willing to make a donation to you and your deity.
Okay. So
Yeah.
are you doing like finances? Is that the role?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
And then depending on how he does, you could role play how you respond. All right, that's a success.
Lucky.
Target 5, success 7. So basically he's like successfully bribing. So how would you respond then?
Okay. Kind of, stroking my chin, looking off into the horizon.
Sure.
Just pausing just a little long enough to make. Oh shit! I forgot Josh's character's name. Oh, Taizo. Just to make Taizo like kind of look around, like what's going on, and then I just burst into a big smile. Of course, my friend. Any donation to my goddess will help in any way.
Wonderful. All right, so you're doing an emo bond? Am I interpreting that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Emo bond.
Both of you roll that. You can roll the buttons in your character sheet.
Mhm.
And then you guys can choose positive or negative, whatever you want.
Ooh.
So we played a game on Sunday, like last week, and I manipulated Long's and Coder's character into both having murderous intent against each other. So when we play the second half of that, Long, you better.
It's gonna be interesting.
You gotta fuck that guy up pretty bad.
Nice.
All right. So on your character sheets, go ahead and mark it down. Your emo bonds towards one another. So now, did anybody already have an emo bond with Josh's character, Taizo, or anything like that?
That's not secret information, right?
Okay, so let me start over. So now that we have a couple emo bonds, so a couple people have emo bonds with other people. So now info sharing is going to start coming into play more. So keep track of who you are emo bonded with, and if they learn a secret or a location from somebody. Like, so now that Josh and Derek are emo bonded together, maybe in cycle 2, Derek learns Melissa's secret. Well, if Derek learns Melissa's secret, so does Josh, because Josh is bonded. So just keep track of when other people who you're bonded with start to learn either locations or secrets. Make sense?
Do the rest of us get to know the emo bond that was chosen?
I mean, yeah, you can just say it out loud. It's fine. And really, the idea of the emo bond is just sort of directing, giving you kind of a hint on how you should role play towards that character from now on.
So is location not a subjective thing based off where we're setting our scene, or is that
it's entirely abstract?
Okay.
Basically, it just means you know how to track them down at any time.
Yeah, learning location lets you do like battle scenes with
fight scenes.
them.
Yeah. Exactly.
So do I know like sorry, I forgot Long's character's name again.
You would have had to have
Kenji.
asked for
Kenji.
the location as the
Okay,
reward.
so even if
Yeah.
he's like with me, even if we're traveling together, I still have to
Correct.
like ask their location. So it's just like a positive or negative thing. Like I know his location or I don't know.
Yeah.
his
Right.
So sort of like the secret, you know it or
Exactly.
you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like it bugged him somehow. So like if you ever want to know where he is, like you did something to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Speed dial.
Okay. So that is the end of the first cycle. So your
Can I know
investigation.
what bonds he chose?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just curious.
Loyalty.
Okay.
Yeah, quick question. So, is the
Devotion's
emo
fine.
bond devotion? Is that me being devoted to him or him being
Yes.
devoted to me?
Yeah, when you roll,
Okay.
it's how you feel towards them.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then I would pick devotion.
So when you do battle scenes, if you're the victor in a battle scene, you have the ability to do emo bonds that way as well. And in those, you can actually choose what you're like. You can actually kind of choose the emo bond that they feel towards you, for instance, or that you feel towards them. Like you can dictate it. Otherwise, it's just sort of random, and then the person selects it in a drama scene. Okay, so you're beginning investigation. Looking into what's been going on, has the first day or so has transpired. You've made some allies, figured out who you can trust to some degree, got the lay of the land. Then, as the next day passes, and we get into like the early morning hours before sunrise, there's a late night train filled with out-of-towners. This is a GM scene. So you look, there's probably about a dozen people on this train, families coming from a vacation, coming back into town from a ways away. You can see people kind of dozing off, falling asleep on the train. Husbands and wives, kids, etc., grandparents. And as the train itself begins to move in the direction of the depot, kind of passes down into like this sort of lower level track, and then you can see as it's supposed to be going in this direction that would put it in like the subway loading area, because the train starts above, we're following it like on the surface, and then it has to kind of go down into sort of the subway area where people load and load off. But as we're expecting it to enter that subway loading platform, it doesn't show. And we can see us from like our movie camera angle. Suddenly the train tracks just shift. And you can see the train car just begin to go down this old, rickety, closed down path. It even breaks through this little barricade that says, "Do not enter. Danger ahead." And it continues to travel. A couple people start to wake up, look around, panic a little bit. There's a train operator in front that's desperate and like hitting buttons and like trying to get on the radio, but the radio is just sort of static and no one's responding. And then eventually it comes to a stop, and the lights in the train car are the only lights in this whole area. They're deep underground in some old subway tunnel upon which this train system was built upon, something no longer used. And the only lights we see are that kind of really dull, diffuse halogen lights as we look into the semi-frosted windows of the train car, as people are kind of like trying to look out into the darkness to get some sense of where they're at. And then the lights begin to flicker, and you hear like a child scream out, saying, "What was that, Daddy? And what was that?" And the lights flicker again, and then everyone gets really, really quiet because there's this metal grinding sound that begins to catch their ears, and then the lights flicker off again and they get really, really dull as only one of the bulbs stays lit. And so they have just barely enough light to see a small scratch begin to form along the glass of the actual window. And all the people are starting to panic at this point and freak out. And then the light goes off and people are huddling together. They're trying to put on their cell phones to get flashlights. They're doing old-fashioned lighters just to see what's going on. And that's when they hear a crash as this large metal blade comes cascading, like the blade that Cloud had from Final Fantasy VII, just bursting through one of the back doors of this train car, reaches down and yanks it right off. But you don't see anything. You just see like this empty door frame. There's just shadow there. And then you hear the grinding of metal. And then emerging from the shadow, you see this sword, maybe 2.5 feet wide and maybe another 4 feet long, just reach in with like a little sharp tip on the back, reaches out almost like it's a claw and just slams down into the metal flooring of the train car, cutting directly into it, pulling itself up. And then you see a second blade come through and just slam down. And people are beginning to panic and freak out. Everyone's going crazy. They're trying to climb out the windows. You see people like using their elbows, using the fire extinguisher, whatever they can find to try to bash down. They're trying to climb into the train operator's car. The doors aren't quite opening. Things are jammed. There's all sorts of rubble from the warning, the danger sign that they crashed through, and they still can't see what's out there. And then the second blade comes up, and that starts to pull forward. And you can see this dark face just suddenly emerge. This pale eyes kind of flickering with this light yellow-orange color. You can see this black hair just kind of cascading down over the face so you can't quite see it. And you can hear. And then they're slowly pulling themselves up. People are screaming. Morning comes. All of you check your messages on your phones. You check the local news, and you see a little breaking news red band along the bottom of the news saying breaking news: train car goes missing at local train depot. 12 presumed dead. Authorities investigating. And that's where we'll begin cycle 2. Who would like to go first? Anybody want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. What are you thinking?
So, we've since arrived at the initial accident scene at the bathroom, and I immediately am scouting out to find any high-profile targets that I may feel like have some information. And the first person that kind of sticks out to me is Tricia.
Okay.
I see that she's, dressed up. She's been talking to a lot of people. I've only been there for a little bit of time, but I can already see that she's, definitely gathered some information from a few different people. So I immediately spot her out, and I walk up to her and kind of initiate a conversation, kind of feigning ignorance a little bit. So I'm just like, so what's been going on here? There's been people in and out, lots of authorities, everything's closed off. I can, it's almost like the smell of blood is in the air. Do you know what happened here?
So Tricia doesn't see anything kind of different about Gogo. So Tricia's just going for the,
just a teenage.
Yeah. Definitely not someone that's going to get looped into this.
And there's definitely, like, this morning, the morning after, as this news story of this missing train car and a dozen people, just innocent people, disappeared. There's a police presence. There's certain train lines are still going because they have to, but there's a lot of cordoned off areas, things like that. The security booth with the member of the Kurama Shin Clan is certainly busy. So there's definitely a lot of people who are just asking like, what's going on? Like, does anyone know anything? So she probably just blends in with that kind of crowd to some degree.
Yeah, and Tricia would definitely be going kind of the misinformation campaign of like, oh, gang violence and that kind of
The Yakuza
thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, what are you trying to accomplish here, Logan? With what is Gogo trying to do? Like, what kind of check you looking to try to run here?
Maybe find out any locations of anyone that she's come in contact with that may be high profile. Like if she's found out any information, about any of like suspected subjects or anything like that. Anyone who may have possibly been involved.
So mechanically, you can only learn her location unless she wants to voluntarily give up somebody else's location that she has learned.
Okay, so I guess just from a strategic standpoint, I'll just try and find out her location. Okay. That way, in case anything happens later down the line, I'll know where she is.
Jeff, from the cheat sheet, and I'm maybe misreading it, for information check, it says choose a character, doesn't have to be in the scene.
Correct. Oh yeah,
so check to learn either character's secret or location.
That's a good point. If you don't want to know her specifically, but there's a different character, whether it's either the two NPCs or any of the other player characters, you can say that's who's you're trying to get, just because she's in the scene.
Okay.
So it's up to you. So you could try to. It could be any of the players. It could be either of the two NPCs that I've given you.
I mean, might as well. Let's just go for Uno Makara then, or Makira.
Okay. So what check are you looking to make with this? Is this that you're talking to Tricia about it?
Yeah, I'm trying to feel like what would be best.
How do you get Tricia to spill the beans?
Always seduction, right?
I mean, if you're playing dumb, you could do bluff. You could do that certainly. You could say you're trying to be. You mentioned that you're trying to be strategic, so you can say strategy, or you can roll contacts as if you're trying to kind of make a contact here. That's something that might work as well.
Yeah, let's do strategy.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh.
Slip by, huh?
Just barely, but you got it. So, yeah, you can go ahead and in your character sheet, you now know the location of Uno Makira, as we'll say that Tricia has probably collected some stories and has been doing some digging in her stories about there's been something moving around in the night. This person, maybe like one of the other security guards, described seeing a shadow. They thought they saw maybe one of the people from the train car was getting lost, and so they chased them down a tunnel. But Tricia kind of dismissed it as, he's just seeing things. But you, Otogi Private Academy, having done some research, having been immensely prepared, a gifted young student that you are, think about the location, kind of track that down, and you notice some signs that someone has been here, and you're able to kind of track down this general area within this particular tunnel that you think Makira has been spending her time. So go ahead and mark down her location as something you now know.
So I have a question real quick.
Go for it.
When you say you fight someone, whether you beat them or lose, is that an automatic kill, or is there like results that can come from that battle?
So a battle scene during the main cycle, so we're not talking about the climax phase. It's okay. much like a drama scene. There's things that you could potentially learn. So you get in a fight, we go through a round of combat. Once somebody takes a point of damage, they have to automatically retreat from the battle. Like they're out of the battle. And if you are the last person standing, that means it didn't have to retreat, then you are the victor. And so as the victor, then you can actually learn some things. There's things that you can potentially get. So you can get information from one of the losing characters who participated in the fight. So like their location or their secret. You can force an emo bond with somebody who is a loser, or if they were holding a prize, like if they were carrying the blades, you could take the prize. You get one of those three options.
So you don't necessarily have to battle someone in the intent of killing. I could say battle, Tricia in the intent of, forcing an emo bond.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You're both ninja. Maybe it's just one of those classic, just sort of testing to see how strong each other are. And then a little tip of the cap as you both like dip back into the shadows. We'll fight again someday, right?
So since I now know Makira's location, I'm going to invoke my Nimpo of Blitzkrieg.
Okay.
Which means on a successful skill check, I may begin a combat scene with that character.
Okay. So you have an emo bond with, I believe,
Kenji.
Kenji.
So Kenji,
my flies that I had hovering around her helped me learn her location as well.
Her stinky ass
Very
flies.
nice.
That's
So-
what that smell was.
so Long, you can go ahead and put down that you know the location as well. But because this is the start of a battle, because you have an emo bond with Gogo, you can choose to join it if you like. Do you want to join?
Yeah, I'm joining.
Does any?
I do need to pass a skill check, I believe, though.
Oh,
first.
you do? Okay, so
Yeah, so let me roll real quick.
What's the assigned skill?
It should be signal.
Ooh.
And you failed, actually.
I'm going to
Did you pick a
use
reroll?
my
Soma
Soma pill.
Go for it.
So do I just like X this out so I just know?
Oh, what if I
that
emo
used
bond
it?
this cycle? It's a new cycle.
It is a new cycle, so yeah. Would you have wanted to use? Well, technically, this is the drama scene. He's rolling to see if he can start a battle scene, so you couldn't actually use your emo mod.
Okay.
I don't think that makes sense because we're still technically in the drama scene. So just go ahead
So-
and re-roll. Yeah.
Okay, so these ninja gears are just one use, right?
Just
So
one
it's-
use,
That's
yeah.
gone. Okay, so.
And it makes no sense not to use them during the fight or during the thing too, because they go away at the end of a scenario too. Okay.
So-
Roll again. There you go.
Boom.
Okay.
All right, let's fucking do battle. So-
Nice.
Now, since we're going into a battle scene and you are technically the scene, like you're in charge of the scene, you can choose the battlefield if you want. So if you look at the battlefield chart, if you want to pick a specific scene, go right ahead. Or you can, if you want, you can pick some other, or you can like roll it randomly, or you can just say it's like level ground.
I'm just gonna go with congestion just for the set of setting the mood right.
Okay.
So, I've kind of gathered information from Tricia, and it kind of just sparks a bulb in my head. Maybe it's from past experiences that I've had, or because I've taken these trains so often. When she says, the name of Makira, it kind of just I know I've heard stories of this person. Something buried deep inside me, from the training I've gotten from my private academy. I just have a very sneaking suspicion that she's going to be a high-profile character.
Okay.
And based on the context of the clue she's given me, I immediately just set out towards the train tracks from where the last crash was.
Okay. So
venturing-
a little bit deeper maybe, and it's like an old kind of catacombs tunnel, like the roof is somewhat caving and the tracks are still kind of there, but there's rubble that's breaking them. This is definitely not seen use in probably decades. It's been quite some time. You can even see above you from time to time when another train that's actually running goes past, like you'd see little dirt and stuff begin to fall as there's like a vibration of that train going past above. So battle scene. So it's the three of you, right? So it's Makira. All right, that's one. Let me go ahead and switch us over then to the battle screen. All right, so then we got Makira, we've got Kenji, and we've got Gogo. There you go. All right, so then the way this works is we do a plot. We have to assign plot. Plot being initiative. Remember that it is a secret. It's a secret message that you send to me to assign yourself. Then we go through the round. You pick 1 to 6. You might have ninpo that are allowed to be used during the plot value phase. If you have ninpo like that, then go ahead. If you want to use them, use them. Remember that the number you pick, the higher it is, the earlier you go in combat. But also, the higher it is, the more like mana you have to use ninpo. But also, the higher your fumble value is. Okay, so don't forget about that. So there's always a kind of a trade-off. So when you two are ready, go ahead and whisper me where you want to be.
Did you get mine?
Hang on, I haven't even looked yet. Sorry. Okay, so Gogo is going to go 3. Akira is going to be on 4. Kenji is going to be on 5. Okay, so as the two of you together, maybe Gogo ahead, Kenji maybe coming behind the two of you, kind of navigating through these tunnels, thinking back to the wonderful ramen you had the night before. You hear like some small some small crinkling, some sounds coming from an alcove. And when you look down the alcove, you see there's a small fire, like in some kind of old tin drum. There's a figure over top of it, 5.5 feet tall, maybe not too big, reddish kind of hair, kind of cascading down, or maybe it's just the fire itself that's making the hair look red. Definitely in kind of like dark clothing, but the clothing is kind of rugged, as if hasn't been washed or cleaned or changed in quite a few days. And you can see that the crinkling sound is the sound of a small bag of chips, as she has on the ground next to her this pile of stuff like from vending machines that she's eating through to get some food. And that's when you two spring into action. So Kenji, you're up first. What do you want to do?
Nice. Coming from one side of the tunnel. Let's see. I'll do Domineer. So I call upon like a bunch of insects and rodents that are living in this tunnel and announce myself as like, not many people are hanging around here. I don't think you're in the right place. And I send on my swarm to attack her.
Okay. So are you doing, what kind of attack is this? Like close combat?
It's what is this? Oh, it's creature mastery.
Okay, so roll your Nimpo check.
Ooh.
As success. So then, since this is the first time that you guys have seen this, when somebody attacks, the person who gets attacked has a chance to roll a dodge check, and the dodge check is a skill check using the same skill that the assigned Ninpo is used to attack. So in this case, it would be creature mastery. And so Makira looks at you with kind of a snarl and a frustration as she throws her chips to the ground, and she sees these bugs coming in her direction. So she will try to go ahead and dodge. And she will fail as your swarms begin to get around her, and she's getting kind of distracted despite the fact that the fire's there. It's kind of confusing. Why are these bugs swarming around me? They should be afraid of the fire. Or they should be attracted to it or something. So go ahead. You said it's a mob attack?
Yeah, so it does, let's see. Oh, I should have rolled this probably. 1 mob combat damage, 1 range combat damage.
Okay. So I will go ahead and take the ranged combat damage. For NPCs, they don't do like the category damage like you guys do with PCs. Okay. So I just take it down from a number, but then I will go ahead and roll her status ailment really quick. So she will get breakdown. All of her ninja gear become unusable. Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know on the stream itself, the roles are not updating, and the battle table aren't updating.
All right.
So we still have like the rolls from the very start, and the velocity system or whatever, it popped up, but we don't have the characters on it.
Interesting. Why is that happening?
Oh,
there we go. Okay.
There. Okay.
That was weird. Okay, should be working now. Let me scroll that back up slightly. See if that looks a little better. All right. Okay, so then she takes the 1 point of damage. Technically, she has to, at this point, as her turn comes around. Are you doing anything else? Do you have any other Nimpo you wanted to use?
Oh, no, that was it.
As the swarms begin to surround her, she begins to panic a bit. She grabs a couple bits of food, starts to stuff them into her robes, and you see her suddenly start climbing like a spider monkey up this wall, and you can see that there is this long, slender crack on the roof of the alcove, and her body just sort of contorts a bit, and she slips into the crack, disappearing into it in a way. So she had to retreat, having taken damage. Then Gogo, it is your turn. You can do something if you like. You can attack Kenji if you like.
Is that kind of my only option at this point? Because it's a battle scene, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
No, I'll probably. I was at the point of taking my backpack off to take my weapon out as Kenji sent his swarm off, and as I was pulling this dark cloaked bag out of my backpack, Hisako sensed frustration and retreated. And I basically, well, that was fucking boring. And I slowly put my, you hear the rattle of a chain as I put it back into my bag and put it on my back and say, well, what now?
So Kenji, as the victor, well, I mean, I'm assuming the two of you are not going to duel each other? Or
I'm not going to attack him.
Long? Okay. So,
Yeah, that's
so both of you are basically out of scene. So Kenji, as the victor, you get a choice. The victor of a battle scene isn't necessarily the person who actually initiated the battle scene. It's just whoever is left standing. Right. So since you are technically the victor, you can choose a few different things. There's one defeated character, and that is Mikira. So you can choose to get information. So you can get her location or her secret, but you already know her location.
I'll take the
you,
prize.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I'll just do the prize.
You did not notice the prize. You did not notice any swords.
Oh.
She did not
So
have a prize on her. So you can either form an emo bond with her, force an emo bond, or you can go ahead and grab her secret.
Let's do secret, yeah.
All right.
And then I get that as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will message it to you both in Discord. So give me 1 sec. And remember that even though these are NPC secrets, you still shouldn't be sharing them verbally,
right?
Unless everybody actually knows them. Let me pull up Discord really quick here. Logan.
Thank you.
All right. That is the end of that battle scene.
Sorry, I didn't give you a chance there. My skin was crawling and I had to do something.
Hey, I've been itching to fight, but whatever it takes to bring justice.
And as you look around her little alcove, you can see that there is like some really old like bedroll, like some sort of like maybe like a camper's gear, but it's like really, really old and crummy. You can see that there's like a small unused lantern. You can see all the food that's been piled up. This is where she's probably been sleeping. You notice all sorts of strange runes and stuff on the walls. It looks like she has sort of kind of drawn in some sort of muddy grime, but you see no signs of the dream blades. So that was a very long... That was Logan's scene. So Gogo did her drama scene, which then with his Ninpo transitioned to the Ninpo scene. So the 5 of you still have your scenes to do. So who wants to go next? That was the fastest battle scene we've ever had. I'm proud of us. We're getting so much better. Okay.
Are any of you guys in the Kasuba Ninja Army?
Yes.
Josh is, yeah.
Yeah, I am. Is that okay?
No, you're fired. Who's going next? Who wants to do their next scene?
I can go.
All right, go for it, man. What you thinking?
All right. So Taizo's going to show up on the train scene. See all the mess. Looks familiar to the last one in the bathroom. He's going to take out a cigarette. He's going to light it. And using pyromancy, he's going to use the smoke from the cigarette to track down the location of Mikira. Because the magic-blooded creatures, they have a really high body temperature, obviously.
Okay.
So it's going to kind of home in on to where her location's at. So I'm going to do a pyromancy check.
Love it. Roll. Yeah. That's a success. Right. So you see as the smoke from your pyromancy begins to just funnel upwards, and then almost kind of makes an unnatural turn and kind of floats back downwards and slides into this crack in the wall and just sort of disappears. And then you see as you're sort of tracking and sensing it, you're looking like 20 feet down and then 30 feet down, a little puff of smoke suddenly comes out of another crack. And you continue to follow the path as every 20 or 30 feet, a little puff of smoke comes out of the crack until you are able to track down a figure that seems to be moving about in the shadows. And you kind of sneak behind it and kind of follow her for a bit. So you can go ahead and put down, you know, her location.
Nice.
All right.
And then Derek also knows that since we're emo bonded.
Okay. So Derek, mark on your character sheet that you know Makira's location. Let me switch back to the drums.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not updating. It's so strange. Very odd, but it should be. Looks good now, actually, at least. But the roles aren't showing up properly. It's very strange. Just being stupid. Okay. It's kind of doing it. I think there's a little bit of a delay, Logan, so it might just take a little longer. We'll see. We'll figure it out. If you see it pause for like a good minute after like we've done a roll, let me know and I'll check it. All right. So that was Josh. So who else would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I have access to a trader. I spent a couple of merit points.
Like trader as in TRADER or traitor, like TRAITOR.
A merchant.
Traitor as a person.
Okay.
So I know someone in the Hasuba Ninja Army. So I'm going to call in a favor with that connection that I have. And so basically my scene is just going to be kind of some text message communication back and forth with the trader that I have.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure that they get me the location of Kenji.
Okay.
So the skill that I'm going to use for this is going to be...
Did you make the Kurama clan that Long is, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just seeing if there was a way to kind of logically connect it, and it didn't work. But it's
Okay.
basically just somebody that I've got kind of a CI almost of somebody to kind of do something for me. I'm going to do Inception. I always kind of make it seem like their idea to help me out and give me some helpful information to
it's
really kind of do my job.
It's in Kenji's best interest that I know where he's at. I
Absolutely.
have to speak with him, so you really should tell me where he's at. Okay, go ahead and roll your check. And it definitely works. So you get a text message that sends you a little link, and when you open up the link, it's like a little GPS locator, and you see like a beep, and it's, oh my god, it's right behind you. No, it's somewhere in the nearby area. So go ahead and mark off Kenji. You know his location. Does anybody have an emo bond with you?
No.
Okay, so then that is it. All right, Derek, and then Long, I think you guys still have your scenes. What do you guys want to do?
So after hearing about the train that just completely disappeared, I'm going to go into a hidden chamber within my temple, and I'm going to try and commune with, what the same thing that gives me my powers. I'm going to use a sixth sense to try and determine where Makira is going to be next. And yeah, just try and just be there waiting, just in the shadows, to kind of either ambush or get what I want to get from them.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your check.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that tool of mine, the Soma pill. Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think we found somebody who rolls worse than you, Long.
This happens
Do you have to beat it, or
no?
You
You
have to-
you gotta. Do you have to get a 6? Does he needs a 6?
No, it's a target.
He just
file.
meets it. It's
Hey,
Oh, I thought you had to beat it. Okay.
yeah, I thought it was equal to or greater. So, right? Am I wrong?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
barely
Okay,
made it.
yeah.
then.
So I thought it was a success. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what information are you trying to get?
So there are specific pieces of information I can get, right? It was either like, from what I heard you talking with Long.
Location from a character, secret from a character, or form an emo bond with a character. I think you might have to. I can't remember.
Be in the same scene with them.
The character, I think, for the emo bond has to be in the scene with you. I think, But the other two you can
Gotcha.
target. The other two you can still target anybody.
Okay. Yeah. So then I guess I would target the secret.
Okay. Of whom?
It would be Makira, right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So as you begin to go through the machinations, of like kind of slowing your breathing and kind of looking around and closing your eyes and sensing, not just with your ears and not just with your smell, but also that sixth sense, that just this strange vibration that periodically forms. And when you open your eyes, you become face to face with this strange, illusionary, ghost-like figure who just swoops into you for a moment, and you kind of like reach back, like your eyelids kind of flipping and flapping, and it's as if a second voice of maybe one of the lost passengers or one of the victims of Makira has entered into your brain, and you're suddenly getting this little speedy PowerPoint presentation of these memories of Makira. And I will go ahead and I will send you in Discord the secret. Who has a bond with you?
Taizo does.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so then I will send both Josh and Derek. So check your Discords. You'll see in your private messages, you will have the secret of Makira.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So then it is now Kenji's turn.
All right. So it's a continuation of right after that battle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll investigate her little alcove, what she was doing here, and see all the litter of just bags of chips that only can be found. I'll realize there's no weapons here. We were too quick to act. I'll tell Gogo, run to the nearest ramen shop and pick up a bowl. Follow me to this location. So the hole she escaped through, somehow I'm squeeze myself in there with the contortionism and follow after as best I can, and I'll leave insects for Gogo to track.
Okay. So what mechanically are you trying to learn?
I'm trying to get an emo bond with Uno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like chasing after her. Okay. So go ahead and roll your contortion check. Try and chase after her. I like it. Good idea.
Nice.
There you go.
Wow. I feel like with Derek here, basically like
Thank you, Derek.
the shit rolling has been passed over to you. All
He's
right.
transferred it via the Wi-Fi.
So as you chase through like this kind of weird, very tight quarters, you eventually pop out in what looks to be another sunken, maybe 100, 200 feet down below the surface of where you just were, another almost ancient catacomb. It doesn't even look like it. It looks like almost like sewers. And you can see that there's water still, like there's very cloudy water nearby. And you can see her kind of leaning over and catching her breath. And when you pop down, she turns to look at you, and her hands begin to kind of swirl kind of this black thing as if she's getting ready to cast some sort of sorcery on you. And you reach out and you call and you like apologize, and she like kind of slows down a bit. Her hands, she pulls them back, and you can see those swirls of like black shadow begin to fall away. And the two of you begin to have a conversation. So go ahead and roll your emo bond. I'll roll her as well.
Just go with
Ooh.
affection.
Okay.
Long's thinking this creepy girl's a little bit cute, huh?
Starting to harem.
She's not very. All right, so Kenji, huh? What do I want? Do I want positive? He did attack her.
But then Gogo shows up with the bowl of ramen that I offer.
Okay. Roll a let's just do an extra check just to see what I get. Roll some sort of like, I don't know, not seduction unless you really want to seduce her.
No. Like cooking? maybe?
Diffuse.
Roll cooking. Let's do cooking. Roll a cooking check.
Oh,
You can.
Why did I have to do this?
Yeah. Okay. So she's gonna be angry towards you.
Okay.
Still a little upset. Like she's talking to you, right? Anger doesn't mean she's looking to murder you, but she's very angry at the fact that you've been chasing her, and that your clan has been chasing her, and that all that kind of stuff is starting to come to fruition. And she's like, another close-minded Kurama Shin Clan ninja just doesn't understand that there's more to the world than what they see in front of him. And so she's going to remain angry with you, but she's going to eat her potato chips. Okay. And that is everybody, I think, for cycle 2, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so then we're going to then shift over to cycle 3, and we will go ahead and do a little GM scene. About 48 hours have passed at this point. Your time has not been ill spent, but you certainly haven't come to any resolution. And as you let's just sort of like with the TV camera, the movie camera, we zoom in on the train depot once again. It's very late at night. There's not many people around. There's still a lot of cordoned off areas, lingering cops that are talking, drinking coffee here and there. And you can see that behind the small room where the security officers were, you can see that the Kurama Shin Clan representative who spoke, Azuma Aiji, you can see him kind of say to his partner, it's like, I'm going to go get us a coffee. And then he kind of walks past some of the actual, the cops themselves. And he's like, kind of waves at them. He's like, long night ahead, huh? Long night. And they're like, yeah, sure is, sure is. And then you see him start to go down this path that is running parallel to one of the train tracks. And he kind of periodically starts to look over his shoulder, a little sketchy, a little concerned. And then he pauses near an employee-only door, pulls out his keys, and he starts jingling with the lock. If they have locks, it might be a card, who knows. He looks back one last time to see if anybody's following him, and then he turns the doorknob, and he steps inside, and you see it's a stairwell. And he starts going down and down until he gets to this other door that, once again, it says do not enter, etc., under construction. And he opens the door, and you can see that there is this huge construction scene going on. All sorts of rafters and tools and machinery set up, stand lights that aren't currently turned on. It's very dark, but his flashlight is out, and he's sort of looking around. And as you continue to watch him like walk in, he's like looking around, and that's when you hear this grinding metal, like metal on stone. And he immediately turns and looks at it, and we zoom in close on his face, and he says, "They're getting closer. You need to be more careful." And then you continue to hear like the scratching until he starts to get a nervous look on his face. He's like, "Wait, but what are you doing? I've helped you this whole time. The only reason you were able to get them the train cars out of sight was because of me." And then you hear the flink flink of two blades just slash, one coming from the right, one coming from the left, and much like the very first security agent, the top part of Azuma Aiji's body kind of slides off. But he's still talking. He's like, "Oh, I need help. I need help." And then you see as one of the edges of the blades pierces down into his gullet and begins to drag him slowly and slowly. And we sort of follow. And then there's like a montage a few steps further as we're into this old tunnel, old brick. And he's still talking. "Where are we going?" And then can never quite see the creature that's dragging him. But as this shape turns, these two huge blades dragging across the side, you can see there's this small room, this vestibule of some kind. And in the middle of it, there is this almost like this lightning bolt that's just sort of in the middle, this sort of clinking lightning bolt of like this purple orange energy. And as the figure gets closer, one of the blades that's not dragging Izumo Aiji's body slides in between that lightning bolt and just begins to pull on it, creating like this opening of a portal. And then you see as the body, still babbling incoherently, is dragged into this portal. And as the portal's closing, you can hear the screams of other people screaming for help, Japanese. Help, help, help us. And then the portal closes. And let's start cycle 3. Final cycle.
Hey.
Oh boy.
Who would like to go first? Keep getting my...
I'll go first again, I guess.
All right, man. Go for it, Gogo.
So, just continuation of where we left off. We've tracked down Akira again, and I initially just started the conversation apologizing for Kenji's brash attack on her, justifying his actions because based off the information I gathered from Tricia, the night prior, she was kind of suspect numero uno. There's been a lot of havoc going on, lots of people missing, and given her appearance and kind of just spiteful aura around her that we, wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to escape. But we can, I'm going to talk to her. I can see that you're very stressed right now. Based off of what's all been going on, I want you to tell me, what's been going on. Why have you been running? Why is everything around you seem to be in havoc if you're not the one that's been contributing to it? So I'm going to use seduction again, of course, and trying to form a emo bond with her.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Nice.
Okay. So as you're explaining this to her and talking to her, she's got this really dark look on her face, and a lot of that was on her face as you entered the room and you saw like her yelling and screaming and berating Kenji. But as you come in and play the good cop role, she begins to settle down. Maybe you hand over like a pack of like pretzels and a soda, and she starts to quickly devour it. She says to you that the reason all of this is following me is because of the small-minded clans that still squabble in the face of the great Shinobigami who soon will rise. They cannot think beyond what's plain and in front of them. They cannot fathom that the magics that surround us could have positive benefits. They look at me and they see an abomination. And then you see her kind of pull back on one of the shoulders of her robes. And then she pulls again, and out folding from it, you can see this weird arm, no skin on it. It's just pure tissue. It's got like 3 fingers and these long claws, and it begins to sort of stretch out. And she's like, ugh, that feels much better. And then you can see as she sort of reaches up to her head, she starts to just peel away her hair. And you can see like on the top of her head, it's just kind of balding, and out the back of it, there's this strange tentacle, almost like a Twi'lek from Star Wars, beginning to kind of fall down, tucked underneath the back of her robes that was covered by this wig. And she says, magic-blooded though I may be, abomination though you may call me, I am not evil. There are reasons why I do the things I do. And so let's roll for your emo bond. Let's do it. She seems to be somewhat taken by your arguments. And she will, I think she'll go ahead and admire the courage that you face, the courage that you showed by coming down here, but more to the point that that you actually opened up and were willing to listen to her talk, and it helps that you weren't the one that attacked her.
Yeah.
All right, so she'll go. Go ahead.
Am I allowed to investigate further at this point, or is it kind of like a one and done type of deal as far as this RPG goes?
In terms of like any sort of mechanical information, like you got what you can get, but we can RP it out some more and like flavor it up. And if there's other things that there's certain things that I can say, but there's certain things I can't.
As far as like learning secrets, locations, forming emo bonds, that's kind of a one and done.
That's
but maybe I can just find some more backstory.
Yeah.
Okay. So she has revealed kind of her true self to me, and I just So what has happened to cause you such a look? You're very, dare I say it, odd compared to the general folk here. What clan do you belong to? This Shinobigami you speak of that's going to be returning. Who is this? Why do you know this information?
So you would know that Shinobigami are ninja gods, right? They're just
right,
like
but
gods.
she it seemed like she had mentioned one specifically.
Right. So she at the mention, when you ask her about clans, she sort of spits on the ground this grimy orange slime, and she says, "I once called the bloodline of the Oni family, but even they could not stand the path I was taking. They felt that if I could not operate within their desires and following their specific will, then what need I be among them? They wish to wait and be patient, allow the Shinobigami to rise in time after we have orchestrated amongst this petty squabbling amongst the clans some level of power. I say, why wait? If we help them rise now, they will give us the power. There's no need for us to do that." But they did not like. They called me rash. They called me short-sighted. They said I could not see the long game. And then they tried to use my daughter against me and turn her. And that was the final straw. And so probably all she's willing to give you at this point, as she sort of leans back and goes back to eating food and just drinking away.
More chips.
She's so hungry right now. She's been
The ramen's gone. She's gone through several bags of chips at this point. She's
really likes sodium.
She's like skin and bones, and it's all just going straight into her. We have no idea where it's going to.
Seriously. Okay, very nice. The rest of you, who wants to go next?
Okay, I'll try and go next. So Josh learned about Makira's secret through me because of our emotional bond, right?
That's correct.
Right.
Okay, so
I think at this point, the only one who doesn't know the secret is Tricia. Yeah.
Okay. Then I think for me, this will take place like in the middle of a hot afternoon, and I visit Taizo at one of his work sites. And I bring like a little bento full of like snacks and drinks and whatnot to be nice and refreshing. And I'm gonna kind of appeal to. I want to learn why Taizo is so interested in the abomination and then the dream blades. And so I'm gonna put on my performance to get some information. I'm gonna be like, yet another example of the bloodline of Oni being seen as a demon, seen as this evil creation that causes pain and misfortune. We're just not misunderstood. Like, I just don't understand it. Just really selling this performance, of course. Sure. Just being like, what is your game in all of this, Taizo? Why do you care? Why do you follow? Like, what makes you go forward for the purpose of learning this secret?
Mm.
Jeez, have you rolled over a 6 yet? Jeez, buddy.
I just need
There are numbers higher than 6. It's okay. You can roll those too.
I like rolling the single digits.
That's fine. Hey, it's a success. It's a success. So how does Taizo respond, Josh?
You mentioned like the Oni clan, how people like look down on them. I guess I would say Let's see. Yeah, my clan cares not for like appearances and how they look. We know that they're still human, but I would like to bring her back to my clan so we can protect her. I just don't want anyone else to get the wrong idea of her and kill her when she hasn't done anything.
Okay, so
Let's go with that.
what were you getting? We're trying to get out of him.
That's secret, right?
All right, so
Yeah.
message the.
Yeah, I'll message him.
Yeah, messages are good.
Cool.
Okay. All right, who would like to go next? I think we've got Long, Still, Josh, and Melissa, right?
Yeah.
All right. So who wants to do something?
I can go.
Good.
All right. I wanted to do a scene with Makira.
Okay. Which at this point you can do because you have our location. It's you
Yeah.
from your smoke sensing. Yeah.
My smoke sensing.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah. I like it.
That was amazing.
Shoot. So if I want to do it, emo bond.
So you know where to find her. So it's really just about you tracking her down and being like, "Whoa,
Okay.
hey, peace, hey, we're cool." And then you just pick out
Okay.
what skill you want to use to try to like start up a conversation with her,
Yeah.
get her to trust you or not trust you, whatever it is you're trying to do emotionally. Yeah.
All right. Taizo's going to use his multiplicity skill,
Okay.
make like little clones of himself to kind of scout her out and kind of, I don't want to say like surround her, just like show that he's there and try and see if she's hostile or not.
So you're trying to like test her to see if she's going to attack you or
Yeah, like
okay.
with the clones, just kind of see if she's hostile and try and show that I'm not going to hurt her.
Okay.
So I'll do a
I'm not gonna hurt you.
multiplicity.
Here's 4 of me. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Well, that's more like,
The party.
Okay.
I just want to show that I could protect her, maybe. I
Okay.
don't know.
That works. That makes sense. Sure.
That I'm like, oh, I know who she is.
Okay. And so
7.
yeah, and so as she sees you pop up these different copies of you, I like to think maybe as you're talking, like one of your copies starts the sentence, and then the next one like finishes the next part, and it just keeps going around. And she looks at you and she says, "Clearly, you have some skill with sorcery. I suppose you could be of use to me." And
Likewise, I'm not here to harm you. Quite the contrary, I'm here to help you get out of here.
there's very few that care about my well-being. If what you say is true, then perhaps I could trust you. So go ahead and roll your emo bond at this point.
Emo.
So it should be on your character sheet.
Got it.
All right.
Oh, how nice.
So I got to roll as well. Let me come over here. Sorry. All right. Let's take a look. I think she is probably going to be a little impressed that you had the ability to pop up so many copies of yourself. And that you had the jump on her and could have attacked her, and you are charming and dashing, and you are a very successful and rich architect. So I will say
It's all true.
I will say she will go ahead and she will choose affection towards you. Okay.
And I got empathy, so kind of understand her situation.
All right. So Taizo, affection. It's funny. All of my emo bonds start with A. So I have anger towards Kenji, admiration towards Gogo, and affection towards Taizo. And then she just thinks that the rest of you are assholes. Okay. All right.
So Derek doesn't get anything if I get an emo bond too?
Emo bond doesn't give you anything now.
Okay.
Okay. So then we've got, I think Long and Melissa are left. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Bring it home. Which one of you is going? As we near the end.
All right, I'll
speak up
go.
at once.
Yeah. I'll do New battle.
Okay. With whom?
Oh, jeez.
Location. I know Mikira's location. So this is later in the day. After I learned that my boy Yumu Aiji was killed, I'll be like my blood will heat up, fuming that this monster is out and got him. So I'll have to chase after Uno because she's the only person that knows anything about this and force it out of her.
Okay. So you find her, kind of resting a bit in her new, deeper underground location. There's other people who have emo bonds with her now. You can choose to join this if you like. Does anybody?
I'm just gonna sit this one out. I'm just gonna let this.
Okay. Josh,
He's going on his own right now.
okay. Josh, you have an emo bond as well. You're welcome to join the battle if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's trying to, or Long's trying to fight her.
Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah.
all right. So then.
Now I wouldn't join since I'm emo bonded with Josh, right?
No, it doesn't chain like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
All of a sudden, everybody's
Hey,
fighting.
everybody.
which is what the climax phase is. So we'll get when we're almost there. It's pretty good. All right, so let me go ahead and switch us over to the battle scene. Right. Let me make sure this is visible here. Okay, so sorry about that. So then go ahead and whisper me your plot values if you like. Okay, so she is going to go ahead and use a ninpo in the plot phase. So she has the ability. Wrong page. She has the ability. What's it called? Disharmony. So it's a cost of 1, and so when she can use it when she reveals her plot value, which is 1. And so what she's going to do is it's a interception check, and she's going to try to basically make herself impossible to be targeted. She's trying to put distance as Kenji comes roaring into this catacombs. She's going to go ahead and try to make that. So let me bring her up, try her inception check. This basically would allow me to go down to 0.
What?
Yeah. And that's a success because I always roll fucking high in this game. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I roll so high. So with a success, she will then move down to 0. Okay, so again, you see her as Kenji comes roaring in, while Taizo is like maybe dropping off his extra bits. Kenji sees this is the perfect time to go in. There's no longer 4 of them, and so he comes roaring in. Taizo turns around to come help, and Mikira dives into the shadows of an alcove within this big catacombs. Taizo, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
All right. Turn to this intruder. He clearly had like a look of what's the word? Like violent intent in his eyes. So I'm going to put a stop to that. I'm gonna reach out my arm, and out comes like this really long chain with like weights on the end. I'll start wielding that and throw it at him with the what's it called?
Rope work.
A whirlwind slash. Yeah.
Ooh,
Rope
nice.
work
Okay.
skill.
Deal.
It's got range 2, so that's
enough.
these 2 away.
Yep. Roll that sucker.
All right, let's
Roll above a 6.
see. Do I hit the attack?
Hit the
The
nimpo.
Down in the
Yeah.
Nimpo list.
There's the green
Okay.
dice button right next to the nimpo. Okay, so the target was a 5.
Fail.
Jesus.
That is
I'm going
success.
to-
That's a success. You barely got
but
it.
I fumble, right?
You do in fact fumble. Actually, you're right. Good call.
So I'm
Oh.
going to
Re-roll it. You do your re-roll.
So yeah, let me go into that and delete
Okay.
that.
So it has to be above a 6 for him to not fumble.
Because he picked 6. Yeah. If it's
Okay.
6 or lower, it's your plot value and down.
All right.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Hey.
Okay, there you go. Now, this is an attack. You still get a chance to dodge, so that means you would have to roll rope work to do your dodge, Kenji.
Yes, and you get a -1 penalty
No
to
good.
the dodge check.
Don't worry, it's long dodging.
Oh, no.
The other thing, by the way, is anybody with an emo mod with either of these participants, you have the ability to do like you can actually affect them. So it's once per round. You can do a +1 or -1 modifier to players that aren't participating. Like once per round, you can play a +1 or -1 modifier.
So if he rolled a 6, I could bump him up to a 7 to dodge it.
You
but
have
since
to declare it before the roll. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So just
It
to
wouldn't help in
clarify,
that case.
so just to clarify, Kenji is attacking Makira, and Taizo's attacking Kenji.
Taizo is defending Makira by attacking Kenji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that fair? I think
Yeah.
All right.
Since I hit, I'm gonna use a support ninpo.
Okay.
So my chain's gonna kind of wrap around his body and around his weapon as well. I'm going to sunder or try to.
All right.
So do that.
So you should probably have to roll a skill check. There you go.
Yep.
Another
So
success.
A success. So now you have -2 to all attack checks for the rest of the battle.
Which is going to be over soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Log gets. I feel so bad. Like I picked out Shinobigami because I wanted to like I want to get like anime games for Long, but then we play this game and he gets his ass kicked all the time. Like every time.
This is fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's whatever.
So you take your rope chain thing, you wrap it around his weapon, you kind of yank it. You can see that his weapons begin to just crumble in the chain itself. Let's roll some damage. So your whirlwind attack. What kind of damage was that doing?
Ranged combat.
Okay, so that means you 1 point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Long, you can go ahead and assign that to whatever category you want.
Oh, I can pick. It's not a roll.
Ranged is you. The target gets to pick.
Okay.
Close combat is you have to roll. Okay.
Right.
So then, basically, you just took some damage. So remember that when you take 1 damage, which you have to drop out. So how does this look? How does this look for Kenji?
Okay. So I'm rushing into this small space. I didn't know anyone else is here, so I was like, I didn't notice you here. But I'm not your enemy and you're not mine. Hopefully you don't regret this later. And then I just slither away with my contortionism out of his rope.
Okay.
We'll see about that.
So then he does, in fact, get to leave. All right. So then Makira's turn will come around and she will just look at you, Taizo, and she will say, I never trusted that one. He's the one who attacked me to begin with. And kind of nods at you. And then you see her kind of disappear into the darkness. And she says, on her way out, I have work to do. I'll contact you should I learn something. And then off she goes.
Mhm.
All right. So Taizo, you are the winner. So you can gain something from this if you like. So he was the loser. Since Kenji was the loser, you can get information. So you can learn his location or his secret. You can force an emo bond. He's not carrying a prize, so you don't get that option. So it's basically location or secret or force an emo bond with Kenji.
Let's do secret. It's like, why'd this guy attack her?
Okay.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay. So go ahead and send your secret over
And then Derek knows it as well.
to both of them. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Makira.
Well, I mean, I know what it is. I wrote the thing. All right. All right. So
Send that over Zoom to me, please, because I don't have access to my Discord.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's switch that back over to the drama scene. And then Melissa, last to go. It's been a very eventful final cycle.
It has been.
I think the story's coming out. I think people are getting it in little dribbles. So what do you want to do?
So Tricia is going to attempt to finally make kind of a connection with someone in this group. So
Nice.
feeling a little lonely. So Tricia is going to think back to kind of anyone that she may be able to kind of leverage anything for kind of a relationship with. And she is kind of thinking back through different stories that she's done over the years, and she recalls when a particular kind of preacher was a little not quite so famous, didn't quite have so much money, but there was a, you know, kind of positive feel-good story that was done, you know, by the news station
Puff
that really
piece.
kind of helped to kind of exactly.
Okay.
And so Tricia is going to kind of have a conversation with Daichi, and essentially kind of remind him of, you know, kind of the importance that, you know, herself and her, you know, kind of news station had, and kind of his rise to fame and power, and basically kind of hint that at some point during kind of upcoming events, it would kind of be in his best interest to kind of fall in line with kind of what the direction that she goes.
Okay.
So she's going to try to do an emo bond based on memory.
Okay. And you're okay being in the scene and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I could RP all that and be like, and then actually take your call.
Now that I know what you wanted to do, screw that shit. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Just barely.
Just barely, but you got it. So both of you roll your emo bond buttons from your character sheets.
I actually have to find that button again.
All right. And pick whichever ones you want. I personally vote murderous intent. That's just me. I think it's good for the fiction, you know? All right, but no, pick whichever you want. Mark it down on your character sheets. Okay. So everybody's gone for the final cycle. It's been 72 hours. You've been investigating. Some of you have learned a bit about Mikira. You've learned that there's more to the story that your clan elders have been telling you, especially the Kurama Shin Clan, the Haruba Ninja Army, the Bloodline of the Oni. They're just keeping things. And you go back to your elders one by one, and they continue to just say, do the work, you know your task, hurry. And as you check the news, you see on your phones, your social media, there's all these headlines, panic at the depot, and people are just being encouraged to stay away. There's the companies of the train, you know, of the actual train companies who are coming out and apologizing and saying it's just been a handful of small and very unfortunate mechanical malfunctions, and we are doing our best to ensure the safety of our travel. And people are just starting to avoid it, and they're taking more Ubers and Lyfts and whatever other ride-sharing options there are in Japan that I don't know about. And as the third day begins to come to a close, a bit past midnight, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, a handful of security guards and cops are around. People are kind of, you can see Aiji's partner. She's like, I don't know where Aiji is. He's supposed to be on shift tonight, and he's not here. And a few of you, as you're patrolling the tunnels, one by one, you're kind of drawn, some of you by the voice of Mikira calling out to you from the darkness, others by the strange vibrations in the air, the sounds of metal on concrete, the sounds of something electrical flickering somewhere deep below the subway. And one by one you all approach, and you see this vestibule area with this flickering electricity, and all of you are slowly circling it, trying to figure it out, casting various sorceries, trying different ninpo techniques to open it. All of you see each other, some of you friendly with each other, nod to each other, realizing whatever it is that you've been after, whoever it is that you've been after, might somehow be through there. And that's when Mikira steps out from the shadows, and she says, do you want to see who the true monster is? And she looks at each one of you with this very grave face and is waiting for some sort of affirmation, looking at you all. How do you all respond?
I'll
Oh.
be like, yeah, if that's what it takes to clear your name, then
I lean against the wall and glare menacingly and scoff.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have something to say?
Trisha will say, only if I can snag a picture before we go.
She will shake her head at that. Go ahead, Long.
Your next couple words better not make me regret this.
She looks at you with anger and she says, calm your blood, Shin Clan. We are here to save the people that are still living in the hell beyond this portal. Until those people are safe, I consider you an ally. When they are free, you and I will have different words. And what of you? And she looks over at the young Gogo. Do you have the courage to step into a different realm and fight a Yoma of considerable power?
So as I hear my name, I kind of look up in surprise. Sorry, I was texting. All I heard was fighting and demons, and 100% I'm in. So whatever we're doing, I'm just kind of itching to get some blood on my hands.
And you
finally.
see her just go, oh, I didn't realize you actually were able to get signal down here. Oh, excellent. And so you see her strange, like, vestigial arm begin to fold outward again, and she reaches it up in the direction, and you can see it slide between that sparkling orange and purple electricity, and she just sort of pulls it open with one hand, and then the second arm, you see she just grabs it and pulls apart until you see a portal begin to open up wide enough for you all to step through, and a gust of heat just bursts through, and you can immediately feel it as if someone just opened a furnace right in front of you. And she says, at last we have come. The final battle. And she steps inside. Who follows?
I immediately...
All of you follow.
Yeah.
All of you.
Trick question. Yes.
Okay. Climax phase. So in the climax phase, the way this works is that you do not leave immediately after losing damage. You can potentially, at a certain point, make an escape check. In Shinobigami, you only die if you want to. If you get down to 0 HP, you can choose to die if you want. And if you do that, you can do like an auto hit, or you could do like an auto share of a secret or something like that. It's like a last gasp before you die. You also have the ability to do a special flashback scene to get a bonus to a roll. So it happens once, and it has to be related to your secret in some way. So you have to conjure up some sort of flashback. It could be literally a flashback from 10 years ago, or a flashback from 2 days ago, or whatever. And you can declare that you're doing the flashback before you roll a skill check to get +3 on that skill check. Or you could do it before you roll damage to get +1 damage. But you only get to do that one time. Don't forget that you all are in combat together, so you have the ability to do emo mods. But since you're in combat together, the pluses and minuses that you would be giving other people once per round correspond to the type of emo bond that you have. So if you have a positive emo bond, you can actually give somebody a +1 on their roll, their skill check. But if you have a negative emo bond, then it would have to be a -1. So that sort of determines it. Now, in terms of how long this will go, it will go either until you defeat what you're about to face. That might mean killing it. That might mean just wounding it to the point that it flees, or until all of you die, because that could potentially happen as well. Any questions before I set the scene and we get right into it?
Can you use like items on the monster thing, like a prayer seal? Does
Yes.
that count as a character?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The monsters and Makira and before that IG, they all counted as characters. Yes. Okay. Any other questions?
I think we're good.
So
Let's do it.
So as all of you step one by one through the portal, the heat becomes even more, and you begin to immediately feel your skin start to blister. The hairs on your skin almost feel as if they're starting to singe and burn away. You look around and you are in some sort of otherworldly cavern. This red and orange clay-like rock is spread out in all sorts of different directions. You can see these outcroppings of rock just erupting up into the air and just sort of floating sometimes as if defying gravity. There are pools of lava and fire swirling, and you can see hovering over top of them are these somehow magically bound groups of individuals. You some of them intact, others severely wounded. You can see this long, almost like an anvil, that's wedged between these two large pools of lava, and there's a singular person laying on it, but in front of them you see this massive creature where the arms are in fact these huge 4-foot long thick blades. There's no other arms. It just comes and sort of attached to this skin. You see this black hair that almost looks as if it's on fire. And you can see as they take a blade and just slice through whatever person, whatever poor, unfortunate soul was lying on this anvil. And you can hear this final cry. And then as they hold the blade up, you can see one of the blades suddenly kind of glistens purple, the one that cut through it, as if somehow the death, the fear of whoever was lying on this anvil is somehow powering and feeding that blade. They turn around and look at you, these massive arms, and you realize they have no lower half of their body, no legs. They have a torso, a small V that is actually dwarfed in comparison to these massive blades, thick and wide. And then it's almost as if they just their entrails and intestines are just sort of hanging down from below the body, seemingly unaffecting them, the fact that they have their organs freely displayed. And they begin to turn around and they say, "You have entered my lair. You will feed the blades, just as these fools have." And we will begin round one.
Oh boy.
So, it's exciting. So, what this means, let me go ahead and switch over to battles. Okay. So then what this means is we're going to do plot value. Let me go ahead and pull old Techie onto the board. So I started thinking, I was originally going to do like a Techie thing. You guys are familiar with that like little urban legend? Don't worry about it. I'll explain it later. It's basically, it's a Japanese urban legend where like usually a woman with like no legs, sometimes because she was cut in half by a train, like haunts a train depot and stuff like that and kills people and asks you questions.
Nice.
That's where it started, and I was like, I'm just going to start there, and if anyone gets the references, they get the references. But anyway, there we go.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a sick reference, dude.
All right. All right, so plot value time. So go ahead and whisper me now where you would like to be on the plot value. I will say, by the way, that these flames are also shooting across, and there will be dodge checks that you'll have to do at the end of every round to avoid taking 1 range damage. That is the battlefield effect for this particular area. All right, so I got Gogo. You're on 5. I've got Taizo is on 4. I've got Daichi on 3. I've got Kenji also on 4. I like how the two of you are there.
Yeah.
Tricia's
Start fighting.
on 2. Makira is also going to be
on first?
on 2.
What's on second?
And then I think I'm going to have Techie is going to drop on 5 with Gogo.
Ooh, perfect.
Now,
Just what I like.
remember, if you're on the same value, turns happen simultaneously, but we'll resolve them one at a time. So Gogo would go first and would do stuff, and if it affects the creature, if it is like a status ailment, none of that actually technically happens. She still gets to do her thing before like we resolve like damage or status or stuff like that.
So if I kill it,
It still would actually, it's because your turns happen at the same time, she would still be able to take her turn as normal. And then once her turn is up, then it would resolve. Okay.
sounds good to me.
So, Gogo, you are up first. What would you like to do?
Speaking of eating, you ugly fuck, how about you eat this? So at that moment, I take off my Hello Kitty backpack, unzip it, and I pull out this black sack that was briefly seen earlier, and I toss my backpack to the side, and I pull a long chain out of the top of it, and I just let the bag fall. And as it falls through the air and lands and hits the ground, a giant crater just appears next to me. It shakes the entire surrounding area that we're standing in, to the point where dust kind of erupts from all around our feet. Everyone's knees start to buckle underneath them. And then as I reveal, outside of this bag is just this almost glowing orb that's just it looks like a very, very dense metal. You can almost see the weight to it. It almost looks like a dying star to it. Awesome. And I immediately start swinging it back and forth as I say, Otogi taught secret ninja art, piercing style, Kinzoku crash through. And then I just kick this ball towards this floating demon as I use my Oigi critical hit.
Okay. All right, so critical hit allows you to roll 4d6s. Do you know how to do that in Roll20?
I don't believe so.
I'll go ahead and do it for you. So
okay,
4d6s, and each one will be assigned. And if they don't get assigned, if there's doubles, then I will have to. Actually, no, never mind. I don't even have to do this because you're attacking an NPC, and NPCs only just take damage, so it just takes 4 damage. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So nice. Normally, what you would do if you were doing that against a player, because you assign damage to a player based on category, you roll the die. But in this case, nope, just straight up damage. So it immediately takes damage. Done.
So just 4 true damage.
Okay, and you still have, if you have any support nimpo or anything you want to do, you're welcome to do it. You used your attack already because that attack specifically replaces. But if you have support nimpo or something that you want to do, you're welcome to do that as well.
I don't believe any of mine matters. Let me do a quick check on one of these.
Sure. No problem.
No, just go ahead.
Okay. So she will stare at you after this massive hit, and she will. Your Ogi is passable, but try mine. And you see her with one of her arms, her blade turns pitch black, and she reaches it up into the sky. And as you look up, you realize there's actually no ceiling to the cavern. It's just like this strange cosmos, stars and swirling lights. But then you see, beginning to come down, this spiral effect, this kind of black mass just begins to spiral, and suddenly raining down from this black spiral, you see blood coming in every direction. And she says, "Blood grows from the heavens. Drown my enemies." So she's going to do an area of attack, Ogi. So she can choose any number of characters within 3 plot value, and will deal 3 damage to them.
So everyone.
So that is everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody will go ahead and take that demolish. Okay.
Straight up damage?
I forget whether it's which one it is. Hang on, let me double check.
And where do we track damage?
Damage, remember,
you can put it in your HP.
No, it's the categories. Remember, it's the category of your skills. That's where you take your damage. So if you take damage in a specific category, you'll have to check off that category as being something you can't use. So area attack is choose any number of characters. All targets lose 2 life points. Each target may choose which categories are lost. So all of you have to now turn off 2 categories. You can pick which ones you want. Unless you have tough, that's different. So.
Oof.
And how do we turn these off?
So just check the black box. There's a box at the top of the category right next to the name of the
Oh,
category.
the entire category.
And so you
Okay.
now no longer have access to those skills.
Trisha's going to do a thing.
Okay.
So, one second. Gotta get to the right place for it. Okay. So everybody is kind of taking this damage. And so what you see coming out of Trisha's blazer pocket, you just sort of start to see this shape that, initially, just almost looks like a piece of fabric or cloth or something, but kind of as it comes out, it starts to take shape and it looks like a dragon, and the dragon is flying. And the dragon starts circling in the direction of Daichi and just sort of in circles around. And Daichi, you'll notice that you thought that you were about to kind of be injured by this, but it just seems like nothing actually reaches you. So this is Dragon Soul Heretical Technique. It is perfect defense. So essentially, one character that's in the same scene that loses HP, the HP lost is reduced by a maximum of 4 down to a minimum of 0.
So you don't take any damage, Derek.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And kind of calling back to the previous scene, of kind of like follow her lead, she kind of gives a nod in your direction that wasn't necessarily just purely, for the purposes of just being generous, but kind of expecting something kind of in return for that.
Okay. All right. And so as this like rain of like exploding crows, so the blood and the feathers and all that stuff comes down, like you see almost like a little mystical umbrella just begin to form, and it doesn't seem to hit him in a way. Perfect. Okay, so then it's Taizo and Kenji's turn. You can take this both of you are on at the same time, so you resolve at the same time. But one of you has to pick to go first. So, which one of you wants to go?
You can go ahead first.
All right, Long.
We're going at the exact same time. Perfect teamwork.
All right.
Synchronize the talk. You guys will say the exact same thing.
Jeff is having a stroke. Having a stroke. Okay. All right, what are we doing?
Yes, I'll start.
Okay.
At this point, I reveal a thin blade. I draw it, and it's like a wire thin. Like it's not even a traditional sword, almost rapier, but and at this point, I leap into the air, and the white cloak that I'm wearing starts flowing, and it looks like I'm a butterfly. And then I do a swift strike down on the enemy, and it looks like a swarm of butterflies follows my trail. And in that moment, a quick 4 strikes attack the enemy.
Critical attack.
It's called Dance of the Butterflies Frolic.
Very nice.
Yes, crit.
I love it. So after the explosion of these disgusting crows that blew up, suddenly you see like emerging this beautiful swirl of butterflies just begin to chase after the very creature that had called down the other flying creatures from the sky. Beautiful. Okay. Anything else? Any support info you want to throw out there? Ninja gear you want to use? Stuff like that.
No, it doesn't work.
Okay. Taizo, what would you like to do?
All right. I'm just going to do the old take out my chain, do the whirlwind slash on the monster thing. What was it called again?
It's a Yoma. It's just a generic term for monster. It just means monster. But I'm calling this a techie.
All right. So I'll do the whirlwind slash on it.
Yeah.
And hopefully go for another sunder.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. So that's a success, and he's gonna get a -1 to dodge that attack.
Okay. So I will go ahead. Let me see if I have any.
So how did the Can we emo mod during this, or?
Yes. So people can. You have to call it out before the roll, and so then a person once per round you can affect somebody else's roll, and you either give them a +1 or a -1 depending upon what your emo mod was. So if you have an emo bond that's positive, you would give them a +1. If you have an emo bond that's negative, it would be a -1.
Oh, so you can't do it to the monster because we don't have mod emo bonds.
Yeah, though that was possible if you would have gone a different route with the investigation, but it didn't happen. It's all good though. All right, so then let me go ahead and bring my techie up and see. So you said it's rope work?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't put in my skills. Hang on. Whoopsie. One sec. I'm just putting in the ones that would affect it.
Put one in rope work.
No, I don't. I do not have one in rope work.
You have ropes coming out of your bottom half.
So many ropes.
You tie up people with your intestines.
Rope work is not a good one for me. Let's see.
What it is, Jeff rolling?
I will go ahead and do it. It's a pretty good attempt, but unfortunately, it does not work. So yeah, you managed to wrap you wrap your chains around one of these massive blades. So what happens then?
Yeah. Then I'm gonna explode part of the chain and sunder the weapon.
Okay.
It's like demolition skill, so
Okay.
we'll go with that. Let me see if it's a success.
Okay, it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you see these little cracks begin to appear in one of the dream blades, and this purple light and energy kind of emanating out of it. And just as quickly as you saw these massive radiant cracks, you see them slowly begin to close up as if it's healing itself, but it certainly seems to be sundered currently. All right.
Nice.
Powerful artifacts, they heal themselves. Okay, Daichi. What do you want to do, bud?
All right, so if I understand how this works, I'm going to use my plot restriction info on the what was it?
Tic-tac.
Techie.
Techie, yeah.
Techie.
And so that essentially is if I succeed on an attack check. I'm reading the wrong one. Sorry. Oh, no, I am. On a successful skill check, your opponent can no longer choose a plot value of 3 or higher.
Oh shit. Okay. That sucks.
So
Dang, dude.
yeah, so
sucks.
my character just like walks up and just throws pulls out like a really long scroll and then very dramatically and just like, full of action, grabs a pen in his other hand, pulls up his sleeve, jams the pen into his arm and just starts scribbling furiously on the scroll while just like chanting an incantation to himself and just looking at the techie. And I gotta roll curse. Hey.
Is this an attack check?
Hold on, let me look.
Skill, right?
Is it like
Yeah, on a successful skill check.
Okay.
And the assigned skill is curse.
All right. So
I think I did that right.
You very well could. Like it's the first time anyone's used that one. I just want to double check to see if I have any ability to defend it. Do you remember what kind of NIMPO this was? Like support.
Support.
Okay. So if it's support, there's nothing I can really do then if that's the case, because the only ones I would be able to dodge are attack NIMPO. So it's called plot restriction.
Yes.
I think you're okay. Plot restriction, any sorcerer skill, support, cost of 3. Yeah, you look good. So,
You have to succeed at an attack check first.
Oh, okay.
You may use this info
so
when you succeed at an attack check.
I see what you're saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll hold that, and you can try to attack. And if your attack goes through, we'll take it. If your attack doesn't go through, then we'll just ignore your attack.
Gotcha. So then I have to use an attack that doesn't have a cost with it, correct?
Because you have a cost of 3.
Right, because that is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so then, so I guess, I don't know, for the sake of the story, we'll just say I do the curse first, and then after finishing, writing this out, I transform my writing hand, so I guess my right hand, into just a lance, and then just do a close combat attack.
Close combat attack, though, has a range of 1, so you actually can't reach her. Yeah.
So So yeah, how does range work then?
You would
On
have
the board,
it,
you're on a 3 right now,
you're
and
on a-
she's on a 5.
so she's 2 away. Close combat can
Oh.
only target 1.
Am I on the wrong screen then? Because I'm just looking at the velocity system.
Yeah, you're. I'm pinging where you're at. Do you see? That's Daichi.
Oh, okay. I didn't
So-
realize that this was a board.
Yeah,
Gotcha. I
this
just
is
thought
a-
it was like.
It's just a way to track. Yeah, it's a way we track initiative and whatnot. So because you're on 3, she's on 5. Close combat attack is 1. You can't actually hit her.
I
with
see.
this. Do you have any
Okay, I
other?
didn't understand that first. I don't even have enough points to do it then, so I guess I can't do anything this round. I completely miscalculated.
You can always use your Ogi if you want to use your Ogi. Do you have any other attacks? You have Vortex. You have Vortex of Blood. Vortex of Blood is an attack. It's got a range of 3 and a cost of 1. So you won't.
Right. Yeah. Then I just wouldn't be able to do the plot restriction.
That's fine, but you can still do something. You can still do Vortex of Blood if you want.
Damn. I didn't think of a cool visual for this.
Well, it kind of tells you.
Spells it out for you.
And the title.
I mean, it's so lame to just use the flavor text of it. All right, whatever. Yeah.
Nah,
just
man.
cast
Yeah.
Vortex of Blood.
How many times can I?
I mean, you already said you were altering a part of your own body, and that's part of the flavor text. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah, just cast a blood tornado.
Okay, so then so go ahead and roll your Nimpo check for Vortex of Blood. Should be a transformation. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Should be right under the curse roll.
Vortex of Blood is an attack.
It is an attack.
Yeah.
But the problem is it has 1 cost.
I don't have enough cost.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So if I put myself on 4, it would have been fine. But because I didn't understand the
Right.
range thing
But
with
you're-
close combat, I screwed up.
You're nonetheless successful on the attack. Don't forget, guys, those emo mods, before you roll your attacks and stuff or your skill checks, pause for a sec to see if anybody wants to help you.
Yeah, I
Because
did want to help.
he was successful,
Oh, sorry.
so we're okay. We're okay.
doesn't he has to roll the Nimpo roll though, right? Not the.
So
Oh, you're right.
he's
It's the
got to
same.
do. It's a close combat
Yeah,
attack.
I did.
It's a close combat attack. Did you roll transformation?
I did, but he's right. I should have rolled that instead.
It's the same thing.
It's the same.
7.
We playing
Wait.
craps? What's going on?
Well, I hope
All right. So I get a dodge check. Do I still have the negative, Josh, or was that just for your attack?
It's for the rest of the battle. It's
So for the
just
rest of
-2 on attack checks.
Oh, just attacks. Okay, so never mind. So
Yeah.
this is a dodge check like normal. So I'm trying to dodge your Vortex of Blood. And unfortunately, she actually does have transformation. So let's see what I got.
Ooh.
And so despite this swirling vortex of blood, she manages to just take one of the other blade, like the other blade, the one that has it, and she just plants it in the ground in front of this swirling vortex, and it just kind of splashes against it like a wave and dispersing with no effect. Okay, you still have 2 costs left, so if there's anything else you want to do support-wise, you could take ninja. Don't forget you can take ninja gear if you have like health pots or something like that you want to do.
While you're
No, I'm
thinking,
good.
we were getting raided.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
We were.
Hello, who people rated. Oh, thanks, Matt.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Zweihander friends. Okay, so that was Daichi. Tricia, you can go first before the NPC. We're in the climax. We're in the final battle. For those of you in our little ninja battle, they're fighting this large, no-legged, 2 giant-bladed teki oni monster in some sort of lava-like planet with the sky being cosmic, and they're all together trying to fight, but we'll see how it goes. They've landed some good blows so far, but it's now Tricia's turn.
Okay, so what Tricia is going to do, she is actually going to, kind of turn to Makina close by her.
Yeah.
And she's just going to kind of whisper a little bit where, she may not necessarily be able to kind of hear exactly what's being said. And she's going to very carefully, not necessarily with a lot of anger or anything like that, but she's going to cut her on the arm.
You're going to cut Makira on the arm?
Yes.
What? Thought we were friends.
I am.
Girl power. What are you doing? Okay. All right.
Give me a second. So let's see how this goes. So I'm going to do hidden weapon
Okay.
for my close combat.
Gotcha. Roll it.
Okay. So I passed. So what I am going to do is I'm going to do my emotional manipulation.
Okay.
So you may use this info after you have successfully attacked another character. So then I have to do a skill check of the skill,
Mm-hmm.
which is Inception.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to plant an idea in her head to manipulate an emo bond that she has with somebody.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so I passed my inception roll.
Okay.
So I am going to turn her emo bond with Kenji
Ooh.
into murderous intent.
What?
Wait a second.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sabotage.
Ooh. Did I accidentally not make this cooperative? Whoops.
Wait.
Did I lie about everything? Okay,
Oh,
so
jeez. Melissa's secret is to kill Kenji.
Wait a second.
okay.
Kill Kenji, but not by your own hand.
Oh boy.
The guiding.
All right, murderous intent it is. All right, are you doing anything else on your turn?
I think that was enough.
Oh, I think it was too.
Oh boy.
Okay. So it is then Makira's turn. So she will look at the battlefield, see that there's decent work being done on the Teki Teki. See what I can do. I don't even know if I can do anything. Yeah. I actually can't do anything.
But can she reach Kenji?
I know I do have an ability, but it's too high a cost for her to use. So unfortunately, she's not going to even be able to do it. But you can, we'll say this: you can hear her shout out. She'll say something like, "Kenji, were you actually able to do anything? You actually what did you do on this? Did you actually damage the main one?"
Yeah, I OV'd it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hit him with the butterfly flurry.
Okay. So she will, for those of you who are near her, so we'll probably say Daichi and Tricia can see this. You can see as she begins to unfold from below her robes, she already has the one vestigial arm out, but then a second one starts to unfold. Okay, as another one comes out. And you can see she's got these two long, kind of reverse elbow, skinless, hairless arms. It's just tissue dripping blood on the ground. And she's beginning to reach them up into the heavens, and she's swirling them around, and you can see that there's all these rocks and meteors beginning to start to coalesce above her, and she is mumbling something under her breath, some sort of incantation, but it's not yet ready to go off on this turn. All right, so it's the end of the round. As this is happening, you hear the Teki Teki mutter something in this some kind of ancient tongue. And from every direction, from all of the different lava pools that are around here, you can see these fire erupts. Fissures in the walls and in those rock outcroppings start firing small bullets in every direction. I need everybody to make a trap check to try to avoid the traps that have been set within this lair. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
All but Derek, I think, right?
Oh, dude.
Oh my
right.
god, right on the money.
So
I had a question. So if you
Yeah.
take damage, can you still make a check of that same category? So if you take like a point,
You can
steaming
try,
from your
but
damage,
you can only succeed on a crit success.
what she just said, yes. So
Okay.
only a double
will
six.
it
basically.
reflect that when you roll as well,
I don't
or do you
think
have
so.
to like verbalize it? Okay.
I think we had to verbalize it when we last played. I actually have to roll for Makira too. So let me roll my trap check for Makira.
Hey, I'm
she
not
failed.
alone.
All right, so take 1 point of range damage. So Derek, what that means is you pick one of the categories to put your damage in and check it, and so it's blocked off. But you get to pick whichever one you want. So ideally, you pick one that doesn't really have any of your skills or useful abilities. So just her concentration is so much on sort of beginning to pull into orbit all these different rocks and meteors up in the sky that she doesn't notice, and she just allows the back of her head where that strange Twi'lek-like tentacle just gets nailed with a piece of fire, and you can see Tricia as it starts to burn away. Daichi too takes one as well, despite the fact that you had that protective shell. Right as the protective shell falls, the fire comes in. So let's hit round 2. Go ahead and whisper your plot values to me.
That's not what I meant to do.
Why did you just send me a dick pic? What the fuck, man? Totally unnecessary. But I will show it to everyone on stream.
Oh, so we have a new plot value now?
It's a new plot value. It's the next round. So you choose in every
okay.
round. Yep. I got. Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think you're all good. Derek, Daichi, you're on 5. I got Gogo. You are on 4. Melissa's Tricia is on 3. Kenji is on 5. And Taizo is on 2. Makira is going to drop herself on 3. And then, what's it called? The Teki is going to go on 6. All right.
Can you not go above 3?
What's that? No, we didn't end up. He wasn't able to do that.
I couldn't do that
We gotta
because
walk
I
it
got an
Oh,
attack.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
Okay. Totally spaced that part.
So then, looking around, the Teki will turn its attention in the direction of Kenji, and then looking at Daichi as they're both incredibly close. I think what I'm going to do, I am going to use what's called heat haze. And so you see the Teki drag itself over in the direction of one of those lava pools and dips one of the good blade, the one that wasn't shattered in the last round, into the lava, swirling it around for a moment, and then proceeds to pull it out. So I'm attempting to sort of heat this up. It's a heat haze. It's a blade check. So if successful, I basically make it so that whoever I attack basically has a lower dodge check.
Is that an attack? So
this is a
it
support.
a
This is a
minus?
support check.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Ooh.
That is a success. So what this means then is that whoever I decide to attack, I'm going to go ahead and pick Kenji, I think.
Poor Longley.
So Kenji, I'm going to go ahead and make a close combat Nimpo attack.
Okay.
So range 1, etc., etc. And you said it's -2, Josh, on attacks? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this will
For
be...
the rest of the battle.
And then I get the -2 on the dodge, so
So it'll end up...
cancel.
Well, I have to succeed first. So this this giant blade, which is like 4 feet in length and 3 feet wide, it's soaked in lava at this point. That doesn't seem to be affecting the magical blade. You see her reach it back and just begin to slam it right down on top of you. And so I will attempt. I didn't put my Nimpo in, so I'm just going to roll the skill check. So it's...
Someone's about to be a real hothead.
Oh my!
Oh, that's a crit.
I love this game. I roll so well in this game. It's ridiculous. Okay, so you can't dodge now, so that was like a waste of heat haze. But so with a crit, let me see, where did I put my crit stats? Okay, so critical success automatically goes through. I can immediately recover 1 life point, which I absolutely
Motherfucker.
will go
Oh, it's
ahead
vampiric?
and do. Anyone who gets a critical success can do that. And then there should be something else. I think I get more damage.
Ninpo does 1d6 damage, or if normal damage, it would be higher.
Okay. I will roll my 1d6. That's a 6.
What the?
Exploding
Did you just-
die.
Did you just kill him?
Did you just one shot?
It's so sad because like
God.
I learned the game for him, and now I'm just murdering him left and right.
Yeah, now you're killing him with it.
So the blade comes crashing down, slicing directly through Kenji, and you can see blood just fly out. And just as the blade's cutting through skin and bone, and you see tissue and blood immediately protrude out, it's also the heat from the actual lava on the blade is immediately beginning to cauterize the wound. Do you have toughness? Are you still up?
How much damage? Toughness.
It's 6. So we got to roll
And you already
it.
took 3, right?
So
Or 2?
So he's going to take 6 points of damage, but I
But
roll.
you do have to roll
I
each
do,
one.
right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
Trish is going to be watching this carefully. I'll just say that.
So it'll go into martial arts. That's the first one. The second one will go into stealth.
I had one on that.
Okay, so then you can reassign it wherever you want. Or actually, wait, let me double check.
It's ignored in a crit.
Yeah, then you ignore that one. So then it goes into sorcery for the next one. Okay. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 3 more.
There's a 6.
Stealth again. Okay, so you're good. So you ended up only actually taking 2 damage.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're okay. You're okay.
Holy.
You're still alive. So it wasn't able to completely cleave through you, but it did leave a lasting wound on you. Let's see. What else can I potentially do? What do I want to do? I think... Yeah, I'll wait on that. And... Alright, I think that'll go ahead and be the end of their turn, but you will see it'll go ahead and with like its bladed arm kind of scoop something up off the ground and just sort of almost like a pace just wipe it across their chest, which is they're gonna go ahead and take their life bead thingy to gain some health back because you guys fucking blitzed them on the first round.
We should have prayer sealed that crit roll, huh?
You could have. It's a shame.
Oh,
Okay.
is that a thing you can do?
It's too late now. Daichi and Kenji.
If you have a prayer seal.
If you
I
have
do
have
have
a
a
prayer
prayer
seal?
seal. I was thinking about it.
I
was
have
like,
one
wait.
too, but I thought that was an attack check, not a skill check.
Any roll. Oh, it's just such a
Huh.
shame.
Save in mind for
You know-
someone important.
It's just, it's not like he can roll high in this game anyway. So really protect Josh, Melissa, and Logan. That's it. The other two, they're gonna roll 5s and 6s all night. Okay.
Hey.
Daichi
right.
and Kenji, you guys are up. What would you like to do?
After
All right,
taking that blow, I'll reach for my pocket and take the beat of life as well.
Okay.
Recover one.
All right.
And then
Don't worry, Makira will kill him.
I will haze my sword. So this
Copycat.
this thin layer blade I have, I turn it once and all of a sudden a bunch of beetles are on it, reinforcing it.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Hey,
There
look
we
at
go.
you. Okay. So,
And with that, I'll make a single swift stab,
okay.
close combat. Yes.
All right.
God, long.
Yes.
All right. So then I got to roll. Jeez. Blade, right? Oh, that's okay. But I still got that -2 from... That's a brutal skill that Josh used. Jeez. There we go. Sorry. I think I misclicked.
Oh,
That's
that's a crit.
That's a 1.
That is a
That's a one.
fumble. That is a fumble.
yes.
So because it's a fumble, that means they technically move down here. And what it means is they will fail all skill checks for the rest of the round. For the rest of this
Oh,
round.
let's get him.
Kenji's all like, you call that heating your
Pile
blade?
on.
This is heating your blade.
So you slide under, like after the slow kind of retrieval of the big blade, and you can feel the pain as like the searing heat keeps your arm attached to your torso. You quickly, with your much faster blade, just kind of get a nice quick cut across a very vital part of their torso. Because remember, they don't have legs, so you're just finding specific key points. And as they try to reach down with their other like broken blade, or at least damaged blade, they're unable to get and parry it in time, causing them to sort of stumble over. And with no arms and no legs, they just sort of fall down to the ground at this point. All right, so
And
then...
then I Ogi again. Follow up on that.
Oh my god, I can't do anything too because I can't pass the check. Hey god.
So my-
Oh my
okay.
god. No.
You're
Go
dead.
ahead, describe it. No, I still got
You're
help.
dead.
My good old dance of the butterflies, of course. All of a sudden, we're in this fiery hell of a scene, but then it turns into a beautiful butterfly garden as I repeatedly strike her.
Okay, good. So she takes 4 more damage. Okay.
Oh,
So we all have 6 health, right?
Yeah,
But you have
more than
infinite?
that. No. I mean, it's a co-op game. There's like 6 of
Yeah,
you
let's
attacking
say
one creature. You're gonna want...
36 health.
So is your
Not
skill
hard,
matrix set up differently than ours?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's they most NPCs only have like 5 skills or so that
Okay.
are like useful to it, and then their health. Remember that their health isn't tracked by the categories; it's just a number. They just have a certain
Okay.
amount of life points, and so
Okay.
don't worry, you're close. But they also
just-
healed a couple times. Don't forget.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Definitely, she does not look good. You're beginning to see like kind of this slow twitching as they're struggling to kind of get their body to right themselves.
She's half the woman she once was.
So she was a quarter of the woman that she was to begin with. Half a quarter. Okay. Okay. So then Daichi, what do you want to do, man?
All right, so I'm gonna do the old turn my arm into a lance and then do my close combat attack.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Strike.
Okay.
So that's an 11 with Josh's emo mod. So that's still.
And even though I already rolled it, I just want to be like, since I have a skilled illusion, there's gonna be like an after image of me as I like charge this creature and hit it, just to make it look a little extra flary and cool. Of course.
Nice.
So.
Unless you have anything, this is just a regular close combat attack, right?
Yep. So it does 1 damage.
Yep. Okay. So. And
then with that successful attack roll, I will now use plot restriction on this techie.
Excellent.
Same thing as last time, except I actually do it correctly this time. The dramatic scroll flare, whip the pen out, stab myself right in my blood, chanting in some demonic language that no one understands, right?
Is anybody helping him with this roll before he rolls it?
Yes, is anybody?
Somebody
I don't have a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, or did I help him for
You
that
help him with
last
the
one?
attack. Tricia's got this one though, so you get +1 on this roll.
Okay, cool.
Okay, 6. Good enough. Okay.
Barely skating by.
Okay. So before Gogo goes, I am going to have to use my other Ogi. Okay. So you see as this creature is laying on the ground, the blades, one of them is encased in lava and burning and giving off immense heat. The other one has been cracked by the demolish attack by Taizo, but slowly the cracks, the purple cracks, are beginning to heal. It's just a matter of time before that thing becomes back to its full form. You see as darkness begins to suddenly emerge from the mouth of this creature as she goes, darkness, and this actual tangible cloud of black just begins to swoop around her, and she says, "Heal me, demons of darkness. Protect me from these petty fools." And she will go ahead and use her second Ogi, which is Immortal Body. So this is another heal. Ooh. So basically, she gets to heal 1d6 minus 1. So I roll a d6. Let's see what I got.
That's a 1.
Ooh.
Oh,
I deserve that. First time
remembers that.
First time we played with Melissa, we kept rolling 1s on her heals. So I do not heal anything. Okay.
The demons are like, nah.
Shit.
Nah, you on your own.
Gogo, you're up.
Alrighty, so seeing this weakened demon,
oh my god.
Let me just, sorry, I lost track of my skills real quick. I was looking something up.
If you have a critical hit,
strong.
if you have a critical hit Ogi.
But you're 2 away from me.
Oh, you can't. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, so...
That's a shame. That would have been a kill.
Well, maybe I can still kill you.
We'll see. 4 health.
Unless you have exactly 4 health.
I have exactly 4 health. All right.
We just learned a secret.
I'm going to use my crushing... Does anyone want to... Does Makira want to help me out right now? Since we have a positive emo bond going?
I can help you out if she doesn't.
Makira, yeah, sure. I'll give it. Yeah, +1.
All right, so I'm gonna use my crushing blow.
Okay. That's a success for sure.
And then to enhance my whirlwind slash.
Also,
so you have a -1 penalty to dodge. Not like you could dodge anyway.
Yeah. Automatically fail.
I deal because of the crushing blow. My whirlwind slash does 2 damage.
Okay.
Wait, that is ranged though. Your whirlwind slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
Couldn't you have hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Gogo's
Use a
2
different
away.
range.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I also forgot that Techie should have rolled a status ailment for backlash. So let me do that really quick. So, cursed. One of her Nimpo is sealed. Well, I don't have any Nimpo left, so suck it. Okay. You take the wins where you can get them. All right. Anything else, Gogo?
I don't think anything else they have would really matter. I don't think they don't have any emo bonds I'm aware of, so
Okay.
But
that's all I can do.
All right.
didn't Melissa change, or I'm sorry, didn't Tricia change somebody's emo bond? Did that do anything for Gogo's round?
No, it was Makira who she changed to
Oh.
murderous intent.
Gotcha.
And now
Okay.
we're coming up to plot value 3, so Tricia, you can go.
So similar to first round, Tricia is going to reach over to Gogo and kind of be whispering some kind of information and just try again, not angry or particularly offensive, but definitely a cut to the arm.
Okay. That's success. So
Yep.
what do you change? Whose attitude are you
Sure.
changing?
All right, so now I'm going to roll emotion manipulation.
Mhm.
So looking to change Gogo's bond with Kenji.
Okay. Oh man, she
Uh-oh.
hates you, Log. What the hell?
Wait a second.
What did you do to Melissa? This is what you get for eating all our food.
What are you changing to?
Do we all see her
I am
doing
changing
this?
it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to. Yeah.
She has to
Oh.
attack the person she's changing.
And I did.
Wait,
Yeah.
she's
Sorry,
attacking
I
me.
have to attack first.
Okay. So who did you
You know
attack?
there's a boss we're supposed to be killing right now, right?
So you attacked Gogo with close combat.
I'm
Right.
gonna kill.
Does
You
that
can
do
dodge.
damage? Yeah. So
You can dodge it.
You can dodge it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it was
I
an
will
attack roll.
enhance you.
So roll hidden weapons, Gogo, with a +1. We'll add to it after the roll.
Let me I'm actually going to use my prayer seal real quick and make her re-roll her
Ooh.
close combat.
Okay. So go ahead and re-roll the close combat attack.
Her hidden weapons.
Still success. So now roll the dodge.
That's lower, right?
It's low.
All I'll have to do is pass, right? It's just pass
You
fail.
just have to pass. It's not.
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
not.
matter.
It doesn't compete. Yeah.
Can someone help me?
I am right now.
Hidden weapons. You got +1 from Kenji.
Kenji, you want to help me out so we're not fucking enemies?
Yeah, I am helping.
He
All
is.
right, sounds good.
Oh,
just
barely,
Thank God.
With the plus.
With the resist. Holy moly.
Kenji turns around for a moment, sees Tricia lunging in the direction of Gogo, and is like, "Shut down!" or something like that, and you manage to block it. Okay. You want to do anything else, Tricia?
Nope, can't.
Okay. So then we'll go to Makira, who has been having her vestigial, gross, alien-like arms up in the sky, spinning and twirling magically these meteors, and she targets. She's going to go ahead and attempt. Oh, wrong page. She's going to go ahead and attempt meteor shower. This is a
What the
range
heck?
attack of 3.
Oh
It's lit.
God.
Okay.
It's
Cost of
everyone.
3. It's a range combat attack. All characters within this Ninpo's range
God.
are targets of this attack, dealing 1 combat damage to each target when this attack is successful. So I have to first make my check. Does anyone want to help me out?
Can you do it more than once?
No, I only I literally target anybody within 3 spaces.
No, I mean already emo modded.
No. Oh yeah, you can only do that once per round.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I'm trying to kill the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
What else?
Just collateral damage is all.
What's the matter, Melissa?
I don't have a
Okay.
relationship, so I can't.
Okay. I know. You're not good with relationships. Okay.
Wow.
So, all right. This is a summoning check, so I'm going to go ahead and roll it. That is a success. So, this is a
Okay.
ranged attack. anybody who wants to try to dodge, which should be everybody, go ahead and roll summon it. It's literally going to target everybody within 3. Attack, range 3, range combat attack, all characters within this nimbo range. That's everybody. Everybody roll a summoning check.
So can we still resist even if we have a point in sorcery, like a damage taken in sorcery?
You can roll,
but
it
has to be a crit. It would have to be 2 6s, but you do get a chance. Yep. So I will roll.
I think me and Kenji are the only ones who made it.
Okay.
I failed because I took a damage here.
Techie also failed as well. It worked. All right, so so then we've got Tricia and Taizo both take 1 point of damage.
Everyone does.
I take the damage.
Me and Kenji both have a damage in sorcery. So.
Oh, okay, my bad. So all of you take, and you can assign. So range damage you can assign.
Okay.
You have to assign, basically.
Yes. Yep.
Because if it's close combat, it's random, so you can maybe not take the damage.
Well, when you're close combat, you roll a d6, and then so it could be anything, so you don't get the choice. But if it lands on a category that you've already taken damage in, then the person who took the damage, then they can assign it. So there's first the random chance. So you're still going to take the close combat attack.
It's only the critical hit where if it's in the same category, you just ignore it.
Otherwise, like it's like so much damage, you're just dead. Okay.
So this is the check where you have to actually exceed the target, right?
No, this
You
one.
did the pass.
You just have to pass. You just have to pass the check. So
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, and so that is it for her. There's nothing else you can do, and then we'll finish on Taizo. What do you want to do?
So am I seeing Tricia like stab all these people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to.
We could do like a perception check if you want, but I don't see why not. Let's just say you saw it. Yeah. I mean, you're a ninja. You can see shit. So go ahead.
Is she the orange-haired one with the pony?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just do a close combat rope work. Just wrap the chains around my fist and try to swing at her.
Okay.
Get them wrapped around.
I'll help.
Oh, +1 then. Okay.
Oh. All right.
Well,
There we go.
damn.
That works.
So that's good. Then I'm gonna have the chains wrap around her little dagger and try to sunder it.
Nice.
Make them explode.
Also success.
Oh wait, you can dodge or something?
That's-
I'm trying to find rope work.
It's on the left.
It's on the
under
left side.
tech, right in the middle, pretty
Yeah,
much.
got it.
Okay.
I passed.
Pass. All right. So she
Okay.
dodges. Okay.
And I'll go ahead and counter.
Okay.
Right?
Roll that
I
counter.
can do that.
Yeah. You
Have
did
the cost?
successfully dodge as long as your cost is okay. Your close combat costs 0. So, and then he dodged the 0,
Yeah.
so you couldn't do emotional manipulation. So you still should have 3.
Yeah, I should still have 3. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Counter it is. Passed. So it's 1 ranged attack.
Okay. Range damage, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and
So I deal 1 range damage.
they should still have a chance to. Oh no, it's a counter. Never mind. Do you have to actually roll a successful attack with your counter, or is it just you roll the counter check?
It says on a successful skill check of the ninpo skill.
Okay. So you rolled concealment.
Concealment, which was successful.
Okay. So then they take 1. So that was Taizo. Go ahead and pick one of your categories to assign damage to.
And now I'm going to try emotional manipulation.
Okay.
Right?
Do you still have?
That's
Do you have
fine.
enough cost for that though?
She does, yeah.
Yeah, because close combat has no cost. For when it was my turn.
And that was the only thing she rolled in her turn because.
Oh, I forgot because the emotional manipulation fizzled. Okay.
Yeah, because I
Didn't
didn't
go through
actually get a
because-
chance to do that.
Yeah.
So 2 for counter and 1 now for emotional manipulation.
Success. So what is Taizo doing now?
So I am going to, I'll give a little bit more information this time. So I'm kind of whispering to Taizo that, Kenji is not everything you think he is. He's a murderous asshole. And,
Oh my God.
this is really, we may want to consider what we should be doing here. And so I switched the emo bond to murderous intent.
Classic.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
I need everybody now to roll a trap check as the fissures begin to open and the fires begin to shoot out at you in various directions.
All right. Well,
We're so close to the end.
Got
here.
it.
So close.
Damn, I'm so good.
I'm so bad.
Okay. I
I
failed.
think I failed because it's not green.
No,
It's
I don't know
disabled.
what the colors do.
Well, do I need a crit?
Yeah, you would need a crit if you're disabled. All right, so let's see. So Tricia, you're good, right? Okay.
Yep.
Josh, you take 1 point of range damage. Assign it wherever you want. Derek, same thing. Logan, you're good, right?
Yeah.
Kenji, are you good, or did you? Is that disabled for you?
Oh no, I'm good here.
Okay, you're good. And then Makira also takes 1 point of damage. Okay. Round 3, likely the last round. And I cannot. You guys do know that I cannot go above 3 plot value because of the restriction.
Got 1 health left. Let's finish this so we can kill Melissa.
Okay.
Clarification that says cannot choose a plot value of 3 or higher, not higher.
So 1 to 2. Okay, so I can only pick 1
Oh,
to 2.
okay. Then I'm repicking.
Go ahead, send it to me. Okay, send them. All right. Oh, that's interesting. What? Look at all these little secrets I'm getting. All right, so Gogo is on 3. Taizo is on 4. Let's see. Tricia is on 2. Daichi is on 3. Kenji is on 3. It's very busy place. And Makira is going to be on 4. And then she is going to be, and then Teki is going to be on 2, unless I can do that thing. Can I do that thing? No, I can't. That sucks. I'm not gonna get to do something cool. Oh well. All right. So first round, it's Taizo or Makira. So Taizo, why don't you ahead and go first?
All right. Let's see.
Really grouped up here. Look at this.
So I'm gonna do. Wait. If I do the flashback, is that damage on an Ogi too, or?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ogi,
really?
or if it's most Ogis count as an attack.
Mhm.
So you can.
Do a flashback. So do I reveal my secret?
Reveal your secret, and your flashback should and somehow be related to that secret. So
All
as
right,
you're like,
Josh, let's hear it.
so paint the picture for us.
All right, so back in the day in the Kasuba army, they had to go to they had to like rescue one of the Oni from like another ninja clan. They were like mistreating him really badly, and they like lost everyone in his little group, his little squad, and he had to do like a last resort kind of attack to like free him. So like my secret was, oh shoot,
You got it. I got it. If you don't,
yeah, I got it here.
okay.
And my secret is my clan believes magic-blooded or powerful, terrifying creatures. My elders also see value in studying them so they can better understand the sorceries that gave them birth. I'm supposed to prevent Uno's death and earn her trust so that my clan can exploit it later.
Ooh.
And before the end of the scenario, I need to find her location and ensure that we have a positive emo bond.
Okay.
So I'm going to do my Ogi now.
Okay. What'd you pick?
Where is it? I got area attack.
Everybody, burn this shit down. Take them all out.
All right.
Okay.
So
Don't attack me, please.
let's see. My Ogi is chain limit override, maximum dimension raising deconstruction. So I'm gonna do little chants and like finger movements. All this material erupts from the ground, creating like this huge web of like chains around all the targets. They're just made up of the chains are made up of whatever got ripped out.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna bring up my fist and say, "Bite the dust," then bring down my fists, and all the chains are gonna explode, pretty much just excavating the area. So the targets are
Whichever ones you want. You can pick anybody. Who do you want?
Oh no.
the monster, obviously.
Okay.
Tricia stabbed what's her face?
Makira.
Makira.
And Gogo.
We'll do her.
Yeah.
I tried to stab me.
That's
Remember,
true.
Josh blocked, or
Fair.
not Josh,
Fair.
Long
Yeah.
blocked it.
That's fair.
And then
But he knows why now.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Not that he's not going to kill me, but I'm just saying he knows why.
I still gotta protect her. And
Okay.
then I'll do what's her name? Kenji.
Wait, why me? You
Sucker.
know my secret.
Since
What the
then-
fuck?
Well, yeah, I murderous intent on you.
That's fair. Yeah. That's
So-
good roleplay.
Sticking with the
probably one of
narrative.
those-
I like it. I like
But
it.
like this world's better off without him, and then just
So
Long's gonna die.
as these chains erupt out, they just sort of like flap over top, like one after the other, on top of this techie who is just like restricted to this clay earth. The arms outstretched, like these bladed arms, and just trying as best she can to get up, but she just can't, and she's slowly just being pulled down into the clay, back and back, until you see the blades just rip free from the shoulders, blood, this kind of purplish red blood splurting in all directions, until the techie is completely consumed by the clay with these little eruptions of like fire, and you hear her as she falls, and then the earth falls down on top of her, and the two blades are laying right there in front of all of you. So, go ahead and take the techie off the board. Is there anything else you wanted to do? Hit a ninja gear or anything there, Josh?
no,
Okay.
I am all done.
I think Makira is going to go ahead and she's going to pull down. Well, actually,
Wait, it's just 2 damage, right? And I die.
Yeah, how much damage?
It's 3 because I did the secret.
It's
Thing.
3. What the?
yes.
3 ranged?
3 damage. He added a +1 damage, so any number of characters within 3 plot values, you lose 3 life
Oh, so
points.
can you roll so I can see if I die or not?
Each
You
target
choose.
chooses.
You choose.
Oh, so I have to choose this?
Yeah, don't worry, you don't actually die. Like, you literally just get knocked out. So
Oh.
you can choose if you want to die, but otherwise you just get knocked out. Like, there really is a mechanic that says if you want to die, say you die, and you get like.
Oh.
But I'm not sure in this case it makes a whole lot of sense,
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at
Yeah.
all.
especially since you gotta what's his name's got to finish the Rise of the Funerai. Okay, so anybody else
Can
go
I
down?
can I pop a whatchamacallit?
So
To be life
would
before that.
no, you cannot. You can. He has to finish resolving his Ogi first, then you can pop it. Are you down to 0 health at that point? After that, then unfortunately you cannot pop that life bead because you have been knocked out. You see flopping to the ground Kenji and Tricia on the ground, just sort of little bit of bleeding and scorched clothes as they are gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and take them off.
I was spending the whole time trying to get in like 1 range so I could do my flashback scene.
All right.
But I chose poorly in my plot number.
Makira at this point will wander over to that floating mass of people that are hovering over top of the lake of that little lava pool, and she will look up at them and she will say, as they're freaking out, because these are just regular people, they're freaking out at this creature, they're like, no, and she casts some basic magic and she starts to pull them down to the ground, and she like diffuses the binding that was keeping them, and then one by one she just sort of picks up like this little clay off the ground and just goes and you see all of them just fall asleep, and she turns back to the 3 of you that are still standing, and she says, you will need to bring them back through the portal. They won't remember any of this. I trust you will let me leave with my life. And so this is to Taizo and Gogo and Daichi. Do any of you stop her?
Yeah. I'll be like, I need to take you back so we can get your wounds tended to. We can offer protection for you.
And since you already have a positive Ebo bond with you, she will assent. And she says, you have shown your valor and that you are one to be trusted. The portal will remain, this is to Gogo and Daichi, the portal will remain open for perhaps another hour, so do what you will with these. And she just sort of like kicks the blades on the ground. And she turns and she walks through the portal, leaving you behind. Do you go with her or do you fight over the blades, Taizo?
I'll go with her.
Okay. So then there's Gogo and there's Daichi left on the board. There are these two 4-foot-long massive blades, these powerful artifact. What do you two do? You're on the same plot value. What do you want to do?
I immediately walk towards the blades.
Okay. What about you, Daichi? What do you want to do?
Let's see. I'm assuming I can still use my skills and whatnot.
You both get a turn. Like you still get a turn. Attacks, Ninpo. Like you guys are still in structured combat, right? So right now we're just role playing Gogo walking towards the blaze. You see Daichi that she has some intention, perhaps, to do something with them. Remember that your overarching mission was twofold. One was to sort of save the people, to sort of defeat whatever this evil was. We thought it was Makira at first, but it was in fact this Teki. But the other was to recover those blades. Then you all have your secret missions, which are a little different. But remember, that still is the overarching thing. So it's up to you. What would you like to do, Daichi?
Yeah, I guess I'm confused. So is the recover the blades like a group goal, or is that like whoever gets the blades?
It's basic. Only one person can leave this scenario with that prize. And the two of you are the only ones left standing that are fighting over them. Taizo is left, concerned more with taking Makira back to his clan. The other two, Kenji and Tricia, are out. These powerful blades sit before you.
Okay, well, if we're just RPing, I'm going to use, since she's focused on the blades, I'm going to use my illusion magic to make the blades just disappear from her gaze, and then use performance to be like, wait, where did they go? And like really sell it.
So this is what I'll ask you to do then, since we want to make sure that we have a way to declare the winner. So go ahead and roll an illusion check.
Okay. Oh my god.
And
why is it when it counts?
I don't know, man. And so as the illusion begins to form, it quickly flickers away. And Gogo, you realize that there was an attempt by Daichi to kind of dissuade you, but the blades are still there.
I guess I lose then.
No. You still have it. You can still make an attack. You can still attack. You can still do whatever.
He won't trust me after that, or she. Sorry.
All right, Gogo, you haven't rolled a skill check, so if there's something you want to try to do yourself.
So at that point, I realize Daichi's trying to conjure a spell to make the blades disappear, and I immediately turn around and kind of make eye contact with them. And I'm like, aren't we all on the same team here? Don't we all want the same thing? These blades have been causing havoc for we've seen countless lives lost. Why can we not just take these blades and return it to our ninja clan for the power of Japan? And I will try and, of course, seduce him. Okay. In order to
roll it,
try and get him on our, to get him to kind of go on with what I'm trying to do.
And so Daichi, she's making a lot of sense. You almost feel sheepish, perhaps, by this underhanded thing. So I would say she makes a very convincing argument. So, okay, you're reducing seduction. All right.
Do you have a point in it though, or do you have it?
She doesn't have that. He doesn't have a point. You can always roll a skill check.
It's not damaged if that's what you meant.
All right. Okay. So this is what we'll do then, since he manages to resist your seduction. We did this.
Even though I'm a 32-year-old.
It's
there's two blades.
The creepy old man thing he was saying.
You know that they have to be together, but
no.
You could also think to yourselves, perhaps There's two of us. There's two of those blades. Each one of you grabs one. Sort of this mutual pact that these fools behind us, laying on the ground. You think maybe do we poke them with it? But no. But each one of you takes one, and then it's kind of a gentleman's agreement, so to speak. Your clans will be satisfied, at least for now, with having at least one.
Keep the blades separated.
Yeah. So do you guys leave? Do you do anything else? It's just an empty sort of floating cavern in some cosmos. The portal's still open.
I single-handedly grab Kenji's unconscious corpse with one hand and kind of just pick him up basically by the leg with one arm and kind of throw him over my shoulder using my unholy strength with the one of the dream blades in the other hand, and just start immediately walking towards the portal.
Daichi, what do you do?
Yeah, I'll unceremoniously just drag Tricia, since she's also unconscious. So I'm just kind of like dragging her behind me.
Okay.
Head banging on every step on the way.
And then once we're out of the portal, I like whip out my scroll again. I like write like a passive aggressive of like consider us even.
So hours later, Tricia, you wake up in the middle of a catacomb, the same catacomb where you stepped through the portal, dusty, and there is a cameraman with a camera right in your face, and there's your worst journalistic rival trying to interview you and talking like, Tricia, what was your last name again? Famed reporter.
Tetsuya.
And so
Tricia Takanawa.
Tetsuya.
Very embarrassingly pointing out your inabilities and sort of surprising you, and you fumble, and when you finally get home and you check your BlackBerry, there's several calls from your elders disapprovingly wanting you to come in for a bit of a talking to. Kenji, when you wake up, you seem to have been taken by perhaps a friend, and you find yourself in the warm and comfortable laboratory with your insects buzzing in the various jars, and you look at your body scarred and burned, but nonetheless healing. You have failed in part of the mission, at least. Your elder, the elderly woman who had led you to the wheat, she says, "All is not lost," she says, and she points out to the wheat fields, and she says, "See how they grow. You will learn. You are still young yet." Gogo, when you return back to the Otogi Academy, the same professor who had dropped the large history book on the bench next to you, looking at you with quite impressed with your task. And as there are others that you would suspect are of a higher rank standing behind him, with surprised looks on his face, he'll lean down to you under his breath so that those could not hear behind him, and he says, "I knew you were the right one to select for this mission." And then finally, Daichi, back at your church, you are not finally back at your church as you are waiting. It's dark at night, and you see the picture of the moon goddess behind you. Moon goddess or sun goddess?
Moon goddess.
Moon goddess behind you suddenly animates again, and this time it reaches down with this sort of glistening hand, and you reach up and you place in that hand the blade, two hands carefully, and slowly the image recedes into the wall until it almost looks as though the blade has now become part of the painting itself. And you hear just a warm and subtle, not like, well done. And then finally, Taizo, back at the headquarters of the Haruba Ninja Army, you have delivered Makira to them. A very sort of angry-looking man with a kind of a Fu Manchu is demanding and wanting to know where the blades are, but yet another person comes up and says, "Ease your anger. he has delivered us something far more valuable. The knowledge we might gain from this one is more significant than an artifact. It will turn up once more. And we know perhaps who has it. We'll find it again. And so you are kind of escorted to some sort of cafeteria, and they lay out some food for you and you begin your debriefing. And so that is the end of Panic at the Depot. Really nice job, guys. Very nice. Yeah. So you want to reveal your secrets really quick before we bail on this?
Yeah.
So let's start with Melissa. What was your secret? What were you supposed to do?
Long murdered my friend.
Oh.
Yeah, I really
Wow.
wanted that flashback.
I did too, and I could never get close to him.
To be fair, I do think the secret
Game
said
on
he
long.
was part of a group that murdered a friend. So whether
He murdered a friend.
but I gave you some flexibility to use it as you wanted.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, what was yours?
My secret was just to learn the secrets of 2 other characters because I just didn't trust them.
Yeah, fair enough. Josh, what was Taizo looking to do? I think we already know, right? He was.
Yeah, I just revealed it. I probably should have been like thinking of a better way to do it. I was like, oh, I need to do a flashback. Oh, crap.
It's all good. Sometimes like the flashbacks, like Melissa's, seem pretty obvious. You just flash back to the time when the person died. Others it's a little trickier.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah, it was just prevent her death.
Yeah.
Makira's the magic-blooded person.
Okay.
I just had to bring her back pretty much.
Kenji, what was yours?
So when I was a lower ranked ninja, I witnessed the horror of a magic blood creature killing my mentor. So for honor, I was supposed to defeat Makira in combat, which I succeeded in.
You did.
You're welcome.
Actually.
Hey.
You actually
I pulled him right into that.
You actually succeeded at your mission. Yeah, it's very good. And then Gogo, what was yours?
So from the knowledge I gained from the Otogi Academy, I kind of knew the power that the Uzumaki Dream Blades had, and kind of the role that they could have in Japanese power. So my goal is to try and build alliances. So I wanted to gain allies for the fight to come by the end of the scenario. I had to ensure that 2 other characters had a positive emo bond with me.
So how many of you succeeded at your secret missions?
Yeah.
So I think I did.
I think you did because you had it at one point. I think Melissa didn't. I know that. Derek, you're good because you had 2 secrets. Josh was good. So I think everybody but Melissa actually succeeded at their secret goals.
Because I had a positive emo bond with Kenji and with Makira, but I don't know if the Makira one counts because it's not a player.
Yeah, you're good. You're good for that one.
Okay.
It counts.
Okay.
Melissa have to do? She had to kill Long.
She had to defeat Long in battle and never was able to do it.
Okay.
Never was able to. All right, so that is it for Panic at the Depot. Shinobigami is pretty fun. We're going to be playing this a little bit more often. Hopefully, those of you who are still in the chat, thanks for hanging with us. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks for listening. If you want to get more of our content, we do a weekly actual play podcast using a different system, Zweihander, which is a different kind of game. But you can catch that. You can catch that every Monday, new episodes. Just anywhere you get podcasts, just look for Adventures in Lollygagging. You can also catch us on thelollygaggers.com. You can see some of our other content up there. We got another podcast that we do that's just sort of like geek talk show stuff. We also put some other streams from a few other people that are involved with us on like WoW rating and things like that. And hopefully we're going to be doing more with this. We're going to be pulling Derek in and Logan in because they're not part of the Zweihander group, but hopefully we can get them in this group at least. And yeah, we're going to play this game, hopefully some more, and some other games I got planned. So thanks for listening. Everyone, thanks for playing. You guys were awesome. All your descriptions.
That was an awesome scenario.
Great.
That was fun.
Thanks, Jeff.
That was good.
Thank you.
So thank you for hanging around and playing on a Friday night. Awesome. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Whitey white.